Perfect, 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 perfect. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pressing Buttons. I know it's been a minute. Hey, life happens. Anyway, doesn't mean we haven't been keeping up on what's been going on in the gaming world. So, CJ, what's going on with you?
Well, people have been recently watching me play Yakuza Infinite Wealth, multiple 4-4. Okay, let me rewind back. I'm doing good, doing great. Life, like you said, has been happening and stuff. We got booted off Twitch for a hot second. We're back.
Still one of the greatest things that ever happened to 3VG.
Everything's been good. I finally have caught up with the Yakuza series. I initially was going to stream me finishing up Yakuza Like a Dragon and the man who erased his name, and I was like, let me just play these games like normal and just have fun with it offline. And I was like, now I'm finally caught up with Infinite Wealth, and I'm at chapter 5 right now. I beat the shit out of Danny Trejo.
They put him in the game. Wait, he's in the game?
Yeah, he's one of the gangsters in Hawaii that you have to face off against. And I think his was it Ramon? I forgot his character's name. And God, I just played it last night. But yeah, he's in it. He has dual machetes and great character. I love it.
Hey man, get that check.
Hey, look,
like I say, get that check.
Look, man. In a game like Yakuza, it's like it feels like he doesn't feel odd man out. It's just like, well, of course, Danny Trejo's.
It's Danny Trejo. You throw him in anything. I mean, dude, I still can't believe that time you and I saw him in the most random. I mean, dude, he was in the Hidden.
Yeah, so it's just like. The game is fun. The game is fun as hell. I think me and Dee have talked about it. I think the greatest thing that happened to the Yakuza series was like, hey, where do you go after Yakuza 6? Well, fuck it, make Yakuza RPG. All right, cool, and it's worked. It still keeps the quirkiness of Yakuza, and it still has that strong storyline, and it's open world, just like the previous one. You start off in Yokohama and then you end up in Hawaii. It's a massive ass fucking map. And I think it's Hawaii and there's another island that you pop up in later on in the game. I haven't reached that point, but they mention it in the game and stuff. It's not as overwhelming as a Ubisoft game like Far Cry, where there's so much shit on the fucking map and you're just overwhelmed with stuff, but at the same time, it doesn't feel tedious like a Far Cry game, if that makes sense.
Right.
So that's been fun, and also probably after that, I'll probably dabble finally in Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, which for all intents and purposes, everybody is digging and loving. So I'm happy that everybody is happy, and it looks like they hit what we said. It definitely ends with Aerith.
Which has been kind of controversial because of how that ending played out. How the ending itself has just got everybody scratching their head and asking questions.
I can clarify this. So basically what it is
spoilers for anyone who has not beaten the game.
For this game, basically what is happening is everything is going like it did in the original game, but what's happening at the same time, it looks like it's going to explain how Zack and Aerith are like helping Cloud from beyond the grave, essentially, because Zack is in his own timeline, but it somehow is skewed with what Cloud and them are doing in their timeline.
Which I need explanations.
It's weird. It's weird, but in a way, it's like everybody that thought that remake was like going so diverse from the original. It's like when you play Rebirth, it's like, oh no, it's still sticking with it. It's just the confusing plot point of Zack being alive in the last game. It's like, oh, so this is how he becomes the Jedi ghost that we see in Final Fantasy Advent Children and him. And okay,
because fine. It is supposed to line up to that movie.
Yeah, it's like you literally went a literal diversion around just to explain in a long-winded way of like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. Okay, gotcha, Nomura. Fuck, just give us a third goddamn game and get this over with. Fuck, like just going ahead and just also give us your Dirge Cerberus iteration that's better than Dirge Cerberus, because we already know that's coming.
If that ends up being the what is
if
it?
Vincent gets the same side game like
if Vincent gets the intergrade, Vincent gets the intergrade, and it's the final,
the best version.
The best version of Dirge Cerberus. I'm like, okay, all right, Nomura.
Thank you. Finally, took you long enough. Fuck.
It definitely took you long enough, but I'm still gonna be side eyeing Square like so. You guys can take probably one of the worst games that you've ever released and fix it. But
still to this day,
but we still can't get a Brave Fencer Musashi HD remaster. Something. It's one of the greatest games that you guys ever released.
Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming next, so Brave Fencer is going to be on the fence for a long while. We'll our kids will have kids by the time Brave Fencer even gets touched.
The guy who made the soundtrack for that game still works at Square Enix. He's still there.
Yeah,
you have time, Square.
And every time
you have time.
And then he's still sitting in the office looking at Square like, so am I a joke to you? Is like, what this is?
You still have me. Uematsu, man, he came out publicly and said, "I really ain't got it in me to make another, like to do another soundtrack."
But
can I retire, please?
It is what it is. But I guess so. That's what I'm doing right now. What's funny? Dirge real quick. Dirge Cerberus. I remember when bear in mind, I had bought that game, and I bought because me at that time, like a lot of us, we always bought like the FEMA strategy guides for a lot of games because they were really good. They always came with like dope ass like posters and maps and all that and shit, right? Yeah. And I remember playing through Dirge Cerberus. It was like pulling teeth to get me to beat that fucking game. And I remember I beat the game, and apparently, like if you do a new game plus, you get the ultimate gun. And I sat back and I was like, do I really feel like playing this fucking game again? And I was like, nah, I'm good. I beat the game. I'm fine with it. And then, because I got the secret ending, and the secret ending was literally just another, GACT is on Square Enix's payroll because that was literally their way of giving us, it kind of blended into Crisis Core because Genesis pops up in that game because basically...
I think GAC is still getting that. He's still getting residual checks for Bujin Guy. That old PS2 game.
That man was on Square Enix's payroll because even the new game, the Rebirth, not Rebirth, the new Crisis Core remake that came out a while back, really good. Folks should definitely play it, by the way. Obviously he's getting checks from that because he promoted that game when it came out. So it's But anyways, I guess kicking things off, Tekken 8. So Tekken 8, number one.
Let's dive. I was gonna say let's dive into this to these notes.
So Tekken 8, number one, just starting off. So Harada, there's rumors that he said probably, I guess, after the next major Tekken game years from now, he's gonna pretty much retire from Bandai Namco. We'll see how much that holds.
I'm gonna say this. Given what has happened to Tekken, I would not be surprised if he did retire because this kind of goes a little bit against what he had said way back in Tag 2.
Yeah, so basically Tekken 8, it had a patch notes in.
Yeah, I got the patch notes.
So, I'm not going to read the patch. Well, I guess we can.
No, I mean, no, it's a dude. That's like 30-something character.
But the thing about the recent patch notes, the patch for the game came out, and in typical, let's be real, in typical fashion of how games, especially in fighting games, happen. Obviously, people put up clips of stupid stuff that happened during this patch, which I feel it doesn't necessarily represent everybody's experience per se, but I also what I'm saying is it doesn't, I don't feel it represents properly everybody's experience, but it doesn't mean that these are issues that aren't happening in the game, and they definitely should be fixed. So I'm not going to discount that. I just think highlighting one aspect of it, like the bug stuff, is like stupid. Now, if we want to talk about characters and their movesets that probably got toned down, I can definitely understand that because I think fighting games have always been, and you know this, it's always tricky on what do you nerf and what do you power up with characters in these games. Because somebody's always going to sit there and be pissed off that their character got nerfed, or yay, my character got beefed up and stuff, and it's great. So I think that's going to be a conundrum that's going to be here till the day we die and to the next iteration of people that play fighting games. I don't know if there's even a good workaround that's going to satisfy folks, honestly. I really don't.
Well, I don't know, because the way I see it is like this. You can nerf a character and they can get nerfed to oblivion and people will never pick that character up again. Hi, Leroy Smith, Tekken 7. Remember that happened to you. Hi, Fakuram. I remember that happened to you too.
Need to happen. Well, at least Leroy, I felt that they made him too overpowered. So
Leroy was out of control when he first came out.
So that was one of those you needed to nerf him because it was like anybody can just pick him up and just do stupid shit. Fuck Rom. I'm like, why did you nerf that guy? Like, why?
You made people not want to play with him.
He was good
outside of the enthusiast or the character specialist. Like
he was good. It was
dropped him like a hot rock.
Like fuck Rom, from what I saw, even from high levels, he wasn't like Leroy stupid. He just had some good moves that worked for that character. So it's like, why would you nerf that character? He was fine. Like, I don't understand that. Like Leroy, yes. Fakram, no. I'm confused. I'm really just I don't understand.
So I would like to present something to you. Hang on a second. So what we got here? Shout outs to Team Spooky. These are all of the continuing bugs that continue to plague Tekken 8. I'll get to Eddie's reveal in just a moment, but we got to look at this. This is pretty funny. Anytime you want to load.
Internet. Do you have it at like 4K or something?
No, it's not even that. Like the video was put together using clips from Twitter. Give me a sec.
Oh,
there we go.
What's up, everyone? This is Spooky, and for April Fools, I wanted to create something special for you. So here are some crazy and funny Tekken clips for you to enjoy. I compiled many great clips to make you laugh, so sit back and relax.
Well, just look at all of this. You got a kick. Dude, how does he fly to that other side?
I'm starting to feel a lot of this stuff is dependent, though, a little bit.
No, a lot of this stuff should not happen. Look at this. What? Now, this is funny. King. Full cutscene. King just says, no, screw this.
But again, I'm wondering what triggers that, though. That's my curiosity.
The game is still broken. That's what's triggering it.
No, I'm saying, what do you have to do to trigger that, though? Because it doesn't seem like that's something that you can just do.
There's a lot of the stuff that happens is definitely random. Dude, come on.
I mean, let's be real. He's playing in practice mode, too. Because if it was like in a regular match, I would get that. Because I've seen a couple levels in regular matches, and it's like, all right, that's ridiculous.
That shouldn't even be a thing even in practice. Like, look at this. Look at this. Where's the walls? I see the walls flat, but come on. You're supposed to at least get out of that at some point.
That's provided if you can do that. That's, again, I think a lot of this stuff is depending on can you mimic it. But, I mean, it is something that needs to be kind of looked at.
That is insane. He already did 73 damage.
I don't know. Like, if they showed me some matches and stuff and not practice mode, I would get it. But, okay, fine. Thank you.
I was about to say, here we do have a match.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely... See, that's what I'm talking about. This is where
How?
Yeah, thank you. That's what I need to see. I don't want to see practice mode bullshit.
Just slow down. What? Yep, this is still a thing.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just give me more matches and not practice mode shit.
No, but this is a match. I mean, no, but this happened in a match.
I need to see more because, like I said, practice mode shit. It's again, I get it, but it's like, show me some matches where, that's it. Just show me more of that kind of stuff where it's
so
happening.
You get a trade, and both of you can go down to the stage. Okay, all right. This was stupid. How is any of that possible?
Yeah, we can stop it. But yeah, that's I look, I can see them actually patching this probably in like I could definitely
See, this
see
was silly. That was some silly shit. I'm like, what?
But nah,
but that was just was just a taste of some stupid stuff that is happening in this game.
Now, here's the thing. On top of that, and obviously knowing Namco, they're gonna probably fix this. So to their credit, they are good at like jumping on this kind of shit. They laid on us battle passes, and before we get to the Eddie trailer, I have to really kind of illustrate this. Now, here's my thing with
go ahead, speak your piece.
Namco. I'm looking at them like, okay, guys, you saw how much battle passes pretty much kneecap Street Fighter 5, right?
And like, 6.
And 6 to a degree. 6 isn't as egregious as 5, but it's still there. So
that's 6 is
6. No, reason why I say it's not as egregious as 5. 5 was just blatant, like really Capcom, like, okay. 6 is like, you didn't need to do this, but you better count yourself lucky. I don't give a fuck about the shit that you're doing in your battle passes, so it's whatever. But it's still, battle passes to me are something that should not be in any sort of fighting game whatsoever. I understand that in this era of gamers being very short attention span, it just is what the fuck it is. You want to keep people's attention on your games. And I always felt like having seasons for fighting games was the best way to do it, right? Because you want to keep shit fresh. Like, hey, like with Tekken, like was it Tekken 6 or 7? Was it Tekken 7? Yeah, Tekken 7.
Tekken 7 started the seasons.
Yeah, so Tekken 7, when it did the seasons, I love that because it was a way of like, okay, you're getting people hyped. Like, think about it. Season 1, what happened? That Geese reveal, fucking everybody lost their shit, and boom, Tekken 7 kept going. And every season there was something that was revealed where you were like, all right, cool. And I think part of me feels that last season it fizzled out a bit because of people's expectations. Because I think, was it Kunimitsu was like in the last season, I believe.
Yeah, Kunimitsu was the last one.
Yeah, so it kind of fizzled out at that point, but it was still, people were still interested in the game, right? And I think when you do this for this Game Pass for Tekken 8, number one, I feel it kneecapped Eddie Gordo's reveal because number one, the focus is now on you guys doing game passes instead of Eddie Gordo. But also, you put a lot of those costumes that used to be in the customization option that used to be for like, I think you could buy them in the customization for like 2-3 million gold, I believe, or it might have been more gold than that you had to do. Cause I remember Tekken 7, I had to like play through a lot just to build up gold to get those things. But now they're in Game Pass and it's like, what the fuck? Like,
no. Here's the dumb thing, Chris. See, a lot of this stuff that they're showing off for Fight Pass, all of this crap was in Tekken 7 as unlockable just from playing. Not only that, if you played the game had an internal clock. If you played it, if the clock reached a certain hour, everything was unlocked.
Yes.
Like everything, like all the unlockables was there. All you had to do was just buy it. It wasn't.
Yeah, Tekken Tag 2 had that same thing.
Tekken Tag 2 did it, and Tekken 7 did it.
Yeah.
Now here we are, Tekken 8. Do I see that happening? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing that. Now that they've introduced this fight pass, which again, as you said, it completely kneecaps the reveal of Eddie. I knew that number one, the fact that these problems, all the bugs that I showed you earlier, has been plaguing this game like from the jump, and people have been like begging and pleading with Namco, can y'all please fix this? We need an update like ASAP. And they waited until the Eddie reveal and then finally announced the patch notes and that they fixed characters, but we still got problems. This game still has issues. And then introducing the fight pass is really making a lot of people, a lot of your fan base do a full heel turn. This is not something that nobody wants. This benefits nobody. I mean, real talk, you're taking a $70 game and adding a battle pass. I could understand if Tekken was free from the jump, like Fortnite. Tekken isn't Fortnite. This is a company worth $1 billion, makes a game, and you throw in Fight Pass. At least just be honest and say that y'all just want money. I mean, let's be real. You took a character who's been a mainstay default character since Tekken 3, and you have made him
give or take.
Since Tekken 3, Eddie has been like a mainstay character.
Before you had to unlock him, but you're right, yeah.
But still, he was in the game. He was in the game, didn't require payments or buying a new version of the game. But Tekken 3 and even Tekken 4, you had to unlock him by beating the game with Christy, but that was just a bonus. Still, Tekken 5, he's a main character. Tekken 6, he's a main character. Tekken Tag 1, Tekken Tag 2, and here we are. We get to Tekken 7, he's DLC. Tekken 8, he's DLC.
And that's the thing. The tricky part with Tekken to me has always been because of what you get up front with the game. It never bugged me because it was like, well, you got to keep the longevity of it, and that's fine. I just think it's like I'm not
down with that.
Yeah, but if it wasn't him, it was going to be somebody else. That's why if it's not him, it was going to be either Lei, it was going to be Bob, it was going to be some other character that was always a mainstay character on the roster. It was going to be somebody else.
Lei being DLC makes me even more angry because I'm like, dude, it says Tekken 2.
But that's what I'm saying. Even if it wasn't, that's why I say it's the tricky thing where it's like I understand it, but at the same time, if it's not Eddie, it was going to be somebody else, and people would have still pitched a fit about it. So it's like the battle pass probably bugs me way more than Eddie being DLC, honestly, and I think that needs to be the focus personally. And I'm glad that everybody's finally fucking saying something about it because it's like you went 7 Tekken games iterations with avoiding this shit, and now you're doing it. Why?
See, but that's the other thing, Chris. I personally am not trying to do this nonsense of, I'm going to play the game and I got to go online, fight 100 people just to get a t-shirt that I can put on my character. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Enjoyable aspect of it. I mean, that's the whole thing of it is competitiveness. So
hold on, Brian. And again, Brian, I get it. And that's what I said. I know the game costs money, but you release this $70 game with a battle pass. Again, this is not Fortnite. A game that made way more money than Tekken and continues to do the stuff that they do, which makes sense because the game was free.
Yeah, that's why I told you. That's why I said when they had the season stuff for Tekken 7, I guarantee you they probably made a lot of money off that. And that's why I said it's weird that you had something that worked, and then now you're doing like a lot of other, because Capcom, that's why Capcom is doing it. It's that whole let's follow what other gaming studios have done with battle passes. And to me,
you're becoming a live service.
And I'm
not down with that. I'm not down with live service crap.
And in a way, it's stupid because it's like, it's basically, again, you kneecap yourself for what? And I'm, like I said, I'm all for game developers getting their money, but it's like there has to be a smarter way to do this without.
There are a ton of things that you could have done. An expansion. Look at Monster Hunter. when Monster Hunter
Yeah,
came
that's what the
out.
seasons are. I mean, technically, the seasons are
No.
expansions in a way.
I'm talking about like a full size expansion because you had Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter Iceborne, and Iceborne itself is like a multi-hour expansion with a whole bunch of extra monsters for you to hunt. You could have did something similar to this with Tekken. You could have given us like a hell, give us another story. Like give us an additional story with the with the incoming characters. Something. This ain't it. This fight pass ain't it, bro. No one likes this. No one is happy about this.
No, yeah, and that's why I say I feel again because that's the flip side to Bandai Namco. Out to their credit, at least with Harada and them, they'll about face on this shit. I can already smell it coming because it's like if you're a company like that, do you really want to piss off folks? Yeah, it's gonna be a situation to where they could be like, watch all those costumes that you see Haram that's in the battle pass and shit. They're gonna do something where it's like, oh hey guys, I know you guys hate the battle pass, but if you want those costumes, hey, you can unlock it in the customization if you have X amount of gold playing through Ghost Battle or something. It's like, well, you should do that shit from jump.
No, that would need to be an update because I've already seen those costumes that are there. And when you go to click on it, no matter how much money you have, they would say, no, you have to actually spend money on.
No, that's what I'm saying. I feel that's going to end up becoming the update more than anything else. Yeah. And that's
Brian, and that's what I'm saying. Iceborne came like what, a year and a half later, just to continue the lifespan of that game. And it was cool.
Yeah. So speaking of buggy, hey, Capcom, Dragon's Dogma 2. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, we need to talk about
I have never seen a mixed. Okay, so it's funny how on the front end, when Dragon's Dogma 2 dropped, everybody was excited. Everybody was praising the game. Like, oh man, Dragon's Dogma 2 is so great, go great. And I was like, all right, cool. And I think it was Black Hokage. And I saw a couple of other people who I watch on Twitch that was like, yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 is great. But them bugs is really kind of fucking my vibe up with this goddamn. It's really fucking my vibe up. And I was like, oh shit.
So you had an autosave bug.
That was the big one. That was the one that pissed a lot. I saw a streamer, no bullshit, on Twitch. I think the game froze on the stream, right? So they was like, all right, it probably autosave, right? It didn't.
Nope.
Oh, the way this dude threw his fucking headset, like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I was like, go ahead and get out this stream because my man, hey, look, I feel you. That's why I don't trust autosave. Nah, bro. I don't trust.
I mean, you had an autosave. The autosave bug was one problem, and I know this game had a bunch of other problems. Oh, I know another problem.
Take this shit no more, man. Exactly how
I hate you.
That's exactly how
you gotta bro, you have to warn me if you're gonna do that.
That's exactly how it was. I was like, you know what, man, I feel you.
No, you want to know the other problem that this game had? Did this game also come with not a battle pass, but it was something just as egregious?
What's egregious in a battle pass? I didn't think you could go worse than that. Other than like day one DLC, I guess.
No. It wasn't microtransactions. It was something.
Well, you know what? Microtransaction is worse than Game Pass.
It is, but it was
way worse.
It's something that this game did come with, and it had a lot of people feeling some way. Like, oh yeah, it was like, hold on, this is a single player game, and I got to spend more money on this.
Suck my dick, kiss my ass, Capcom. Again, Capcom, 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. What are we doing here? Like, you were, like, what the fuck, man? Like, and that sucks too, because again, like, everything about Dragon's Dogma past the bullshit is great. Like, the gameplay is great. Having, you can actually get partners that you can get over the game is great. The customization feature is dope. It's just these bugs and glitches is really fucking up people's like experience in this game. And especially it's bad when your competitor in Boulder Gates 3 is like running laps around your ass still.
Oh, especially when the game has like when the game runs like trash on PC.
Yeah. And again, you're competing against Baldur's Gate 3, which is still holding strong. It's not a good look.
I remember where there was something set up where it actually does cost you money. Like if you wanted to like edit your character and like alter the way that they look, now you got to spend, I think, what was it, like 10,000 gold or something like that, which isn't a lot of money. Like if you play the game,
it isn't.
Yeah, like if you, I'll put it to you like this: I would rather spend in-game currency than spending actual money to fix that.
Well, that's what made
again. Hi, Capcom, Monster Hunter character edit.
I mean, that's what. To be honest, that's what made it kind of stupid for Capcom to offer people to buy fucking red orbs in Devil May Cry 5 when red orbs were plentiful in game. It's like,
that's because they set that up for people who did not want to go through the grind of just playing the game over and over and over and just farming.
That's the enjoyment of it.
I know that is, but come on, CJ. You and I, we about to hit that age.
I played through Devil May Cry 4 God knows how many fucking times.
How old were you back then, sir?
No, it's not even that. Like,
I'm just saying, we got responsibility.
DMC4 is infamous for like, how it's lazy on the level design of like, oh, you went forward, oh, you go back, but like,
there's backtracking in Devil May Cry.
There's an enjoyment factor, and I'm not even counting like, okay, life happens, cool, I get that, but it's like, bro, if you beat Devil May Cry 5, you do realize you can just go back through and just play on even the easiest difficulty and just farm orbs and just have fun with it. Like,
I know for a fact that there, thanks to the power of social media and PS5's video sharing, I know for a fact that somebody has posted a video where you can just farm infinite red orbs.
Yeah, there's certain chapters in Devil May Cry 5 that you could easily like farm a shit ton of fucking orbs and actually I think the hat that Dante gets that you get later in the game, that shit, I forgot which move it is, but it literally just all the enemies just done, all red orbs just come out of fucking nowhere. So it's
I backtrack because that's all I know. Face
really is.
Shout out to Mad Chocolate.
It really is. Because it's
Brian, you ain't wrong.
Because it's like, to me at this point, it's kind of like right now. Like I said, I'm playing Yakuza, right? Because Trey's been watching me play it. Like, I enjoy playing, because even with Final Fantasy Rebirth, when I play it, if people watch me play, I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of like farming and a lot of like, grinding and stuff. Because I like doing that because you can figure out your characters and certain moves that you can do to where when you finally progress in the game, it's like, oh, I can do that move because it only costs this MP and I can do that. And I think maybe that speaks to a lot of folks that, because in the age of Twitch streaming, everybody wants to be the first to get the game, the first to beat the game, the first to post it up on YouTube so they can post spoilers and shit. And it's like, that's cool if you want to do that, but I just feel like, why rush through a game? Just enjoy it. Like, I enjoy it, right? And I get what you're saying on the idea of like the average consumer just wants to play the game and get through it because time. But I'm like,
which is the whole point of single player games. Is when they got, I don't want to say when people got a life, but when they got other responsibilities going on and they don't have time to play a multitude of games, it's like, hey, just give me a game with like a good story, make sure it works. Let's number one, let's make sure the game works. I am so sad and I weep for the youth and the future of gamers because it didn't used to be like this. I mean, back in the day, you bought a game and it worked.
Well, to be fair, we kind of got nickel and dime, but we barely said shit. Because think about it. Look, bro, hold on. We paid $50 for OG Devil May Cry 3, and then had to turn back around and pay $25 for special edition. Now, granted, the $25 difference, it lessened the sting of rebuying it.
Here's so I was
like, whatever. Granted, me, a person of GameStop stature, only paid $15.
Hold on, Chris. See, I know where you're coming from. Back then, when DMC5 Dante's Awakening released, everybody was angry at that game for it being too hard.
I think it was the Japanese release that they
They gave us the
that
Japanese
was the most
release.
accidental shit ever because I remember after I beat Cerebus, everything was Gucci after that in that game. I was like,
The
all right, this
Cerberus,
shit's easy as fuck, man.
bro. The Cerberus fight was dumb as hell when we played OG DMC3.
I remember playing through it, and it was like I wasn't getting hit because I was blocking and stuff, but I was like, this shouldn't be this fucking hard. But I was still beating it, and I remember after I beat it, I was like, okay, I beat it, and it's like everything else in the game afterwards was like dirt easy, and I was like,
dude, after I beat Cerberus, I farmed the hell out of his weapon just to max it out because I'm like, bro, I went through all of that hell just to get it, and now that I got it, I'm not letting go of this weapon.
So bad because I remember I beat OG DMC3, right? I was like, that was an enjoyable series, but that Cerebus fight, and all of us on the message boards was like, the hell.
See, it wasn't even just the Cerberus fight. You want to know the other one that made a whole lot of gamers want to chuck their PS2s out the window? I think it was Mission 21 or Mission 22, where you had to fight on that giant chessboard with all those chess pieces that moved around and like hit you with the swords and stuff. It was hard to break them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's way later in the game, like towards the end of the game.
Well, that beat up the Cerebus nunchuck, so that was like
that's what I'm saying. Unless you beefed up your weapons, bro, you were in for a bad time.
Why would you not beef up your weapons? Like,
hey, some people just wanted to beat the game. I'm like, bro, this is a good game. I want to.
Why would I rush through this? Like,
I didn't rush.
No, I'm not saying you. It's just that's. All right, cool. If you want to rush through it, it's just like, why would you not want to? I want to fucking power up these goddamn weapons and just ace, But yeah, like when Special Edition came out, I was kind of like, well,
and that was the other difference too, Chris. Back then, when you got an update, you paid less money for it. Today,
$25 still stung. To be fair,
no,
it did a little.
Hold on,
a little bit.
No, Chris, hold up. Let me back. All right, I got you. Virtua Fighter 4 dropped on PS2. Remember that?
Yeah.
And that was what, full price game? I think
$20 for. Now I never bought the OG Virtua Fighter 4.
I know, but we had friends that had the OG version.
Oh, I did. I didn't know nobody. I bought Evolution for like 20. So
our boy, hey, look, shout out to our boy Dark Roni, Sean. We went to his place. He actually had OG Virtua Fighter 4. Then what? 6 months later, 6 months to a year, I don't want to say 6 or 8 months 6 or 8 months later, we get Virtua Fighter 4 Evo for $20, and it gave you a whole bunch of extra stuff. I mean, again, I would take that any day over what we have right now.
Now, right with that now, I would say, to be fair though, like DMC5, right? It came out with the I think if you bought DMC5, I think you could buy the Virgil DLC.
Virgil was a Virgil DLC.
Yeah, the Virgil DLC was like $20, which, I mean, look, Virgil, just like his iteration in DMC4,
broken.
3, broken as fuck, but it's fun. It's fun broken, and I love it. Like that's the type of shit where it's like, this is $20, well fucking worth it right here. Let's go.
playing as Virgil in any Devil May Cry game, he's the most broken character. I mean, people say, "Oh, Dante, he's got all these weapons and all this stuff." Virgil, who has less weapons, he's stupid broken with his default weapon.
You don't need it because it's like, was it the motivation thing where he like builds up and shit? That shit, it's just like judgment cut.
Yeah, the judgment cut, all the slashes are everywhere, and it's like as soon as he sheaths that sword, done. Everything is instantly killed.
Dude, my favorite thing to do is like randomly in the middle of my workday, I would go on Twitch and there's somebody in Japan playing like high level DMC5. It is the most ridiculous shit to watch because I'm like, this guy is cooking. Yeah, he must die.
I love watching those videos. Like I've seen Heaven and Hell mode, Hell and Hell mode, Dante Must Die mode, and I'm just seeing these guys who do nothing but play this game just cook.
This dude will play game. It's literally 30 minutes of him. It's like he wakes up, plays Devil May Cry 5 for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and it's like, well, that was my stream for today. Have fun, folks. And I'm like, but he got like 100+ motherfuckers watching that shit because it's like he is like cooking through, even to the point to where, because there was something I didn't know until like after I beat Devil May Cry 5 that you can actually, it's like a special ending where if you beat what the fuck is that first boss?
You talking about the boss in the first boss in DMC5?
Yeah,
like the
Virgil, the split Virgil, the evil side of Virgil.
Yes. God,
You can technically beat him and you get like a special ending where it's like he technically doesn't win or some shit like that. And it's like it's kind of like the writing thing in Metal Gear Solid 3 where it's like you kind of broke the timeline doing that shit a little bit if you beat
you
him.
do.
So, but it's
Urizen. That was
Urizen. If you beat Urizen, it's like, so that's game, huh? All right, cool. You know, which I didn't know because I kind of was like, are you supposed to beat him or are you supposed to lose? Like, all right, cool.
It's one of those. It's one of those things. Like, what was it? Because there's like there's other few games back in the day that used to do that. Like, remember if you played Rival Schools and you beat Raizo, and like Chapter 3, you got a special ending.
Yep.
Even though they gave him like 500,000 health. And yet he could wash you with one super.
Yeah. But anyways, so hey guys, you remember Rock Band? I remember Rock Band.
Oh wait, hold on. Before you get to Rock Band, you mentioned you had Helldivers too.
Well, I was gonna get to that, but I just wanted to bring up the Rock Band thing for kids. You remember Rock Band? You remember the heyday? There's something weird about this. I went to parties where we both knew one of our boys, Harold, was like a huge Rock Band. He always recorded him doing score attacks on it.
Shout out to our boy Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic. But like, I remember everybody, the craze. You go to people's house parties, they had Rock Band and Guitar Hero set up and stuff. And then it's amazing how that game series just nosedive, and it felt like there was a graveyard of just guitars and stuff.
Well, Rock Band and Guitar Hero, they both suffered the same fate of never once did y'all ever really take a page out of Konami's or the B-Money series of games of you're supposed to pace how you release your games.
Oh, they all got into that. Like, I want a guitar game too. Let me get a guitar game.
No. See, I don't mind if everybody wants to get in on it. That's fine. I'm talking about releasing the games. Guitar Hero, bro, it was like almost every 2 to 6 months there was some new kind of Guitar Hero game.
Yeah, it was the new Madden essentially.
And it was stupid. Within 1 year
of Guitar Hero.
Bro, within 1 year, there was like 4 Guitar Hero games.
Yeah, it was like, because didn't they have like, it was like Guitar Hero 2. There was like what was the other Guitar Hero?
It was Guitar Hero 3, Guitar Hero Legends of Rock, Guitar Hero something of Rock, Guitar Hero, Guitar Hero Electric Boogaloo. It was all these new.
Hold up. I think I can bring up all the games. Hold up. Let me see if they show all of them. Okay, so Guitar Hero 2, Legends of Rock, World Tour 5, Warriors of Rock, Guitar Hero Live. And there it is. I found it now. So yeah, Legends of Rock, World Tour 5, Warriors of Rock, Heroes Live, Aerosmith, Metallica, Van Halen, Rock the 80s, Smash Hits, Band Hero, On Tour Decades, On Tour Modern Hits. The mobile side of it had mobile Backstage Pass, 5 mobile. Apparently, and I forgot the arcades that were in Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, you had the arcade games too.
That is, dear God, that's a lot. You're right. So what ended up coming out of that was a lot of people were doing quirky things with the guitar modules, like doing speed runs with video games with the guitars, which was
somebody actually did that.
Yeah, it was a lot of people, especially if you watch Awesome Games Done Quick and Summer Games Done Quick, they always have the little specialty things. So apparently there is a company that is putting out a new guitar that kind of takes into account people that use these guitars for those special runs.
This company is PDP. They made controllers.
Yeah, $129 for the controller, which isn't too bad actually. Got a little control analog stick behind it and stuff like that, which I think that is a very unique thing to have for something like this. Now, do I think that this is going to make Rock Band and all that stuff make a comeback? Well, jury's still out, but I am glad that it's something that if you want to, pop in Rock Band 4 or whatever, you can actually use it to play with. So. Fucking Blade theme.
Rock on.
Oh shit, folks.
This is the Riff Master. I like the look of it though. I'm not. I I can't get mad.
Wireless?
I don't know about that wireless though.
Whammy bar, strumming, audio controls. Okay. Got an audio jack. Built-in
analog stick.
Yeah.
Removable.
Okay. See. PDP knows what they're doing.
They know how to make good. I'll give them that. They know how to make controller parts. That's cool.
I'm very excited on that.
Somebody did play Dark Souls using this controller.
Yeah, that's the reason why they put the analog stuff on it, because it basically is like their way of essentially, kind of addressing that and such.
And somebody also someone put out a video. It says, "Can you beat Elden Ring with a guitar controller?"
I believe you probably can. I mean, look, that's something that's actually pretty great and stuff. So Helldivers, I put that in the notes. Helldivers 2 is like everybody and their fucking mama is playing that game. There's a couple people. Shout out to Prime. He's been trying to get me to get into Helldivers, so I'll probably eventually get it so everybody can tag team into it. I've seen people play it on Twitch and all that stuff. I definitely understand the hype. It looks like a very fun game. I never played the first one. Did you play the first one?
I never got into Helldivers.
I'm kind of shocked because I know you were, out of all three of us, you were really big on Battlefield, big time.
Yeah, I still play Battlefield.
That's why I'm shocked that you didn't even play Helldivers. I'm like,
hey, look, man. Unless I see a gold Magnum sniper rifle in that game or something close to it, I'm like, dude, you can find me on Battlefield 4.
Oh man, I think it's kind of.
I have no shame in the amount of hours I burned into that game.
Look, man,
I love Battlefield 4.
I look at Helldivers and I'm sitting back like, so is this like the spiritual successor to the fuck was that other Sony game?
Not Mag.
Fuck. The one that had the fucking second game that didn't look graphically better than the trailer. God damn.
Oh, Killzone.
Yeah, is this like the spiritual successor to Killzone? That's what it looks. It looks.
It needs to be.
It needs to be, but like everything that I'm seeing is like this shit looks pretty great. And look, it doesn't have a single player campaign, so just go into it knowing that. But it's pretty much all multiplayer. You are right to a point. It does have that thing of Mag, because Mag was one of those games that definitely caught on with a lot of folks, because that was definitely a huge game. Shout out to Mag, because I remember D was playing that game a lot back in the PS3 era. Like every time I logged in on PS3, it's like, oh, D's playing Mag. Great.
It's like I was gonna ask him if he wanted to play some Simpsons or some X-Men, but nah, he all right.
It's like, yeah, you want to play X-Men Arcade? Fuck you, I'm playing Mag. All right then. Well, so I will definitely jump on that. I think it being on Steam and also having that kind of like multi-platform iteration.
Yeah, it's like super cross-play. Like
I think
super
that's
cross-play. I want to get it because like my friends in Japan, they got it and they've been playing it like since it dropped. And I'm like, God, I really want to play it, but I've been playing Tekken.
I mean, PC and the Sony crossover, it's like,
yeah,
especially on Steam. I've been seeing a lot of people on Steam. So yeah, definitely jump on. I'm definitely going to jump on that, folks, with that especially. So you want to tell me about this article that IGN put up? Because I am lost.
All right. Okay.
Please explain this to me like I'm a kid.
All right, time for us to talk about adult things.
Stellar Blade, I would say. Really
the most controversial game of 2024, and it's not even out yet. All right, anyone who's been following anything that's going on with Stellar Blade right now, dude, it's insane. So let me pull up this information here. Jesus. All right. Stellar Blade. Yeah, here we go. Oh, wait. What the heck? Hang on a sec. So I had to grab this from Asmongold, his Reddit page, because every time IGN does something stupid, they have to backtrack. They got to be quick to backtrack. That's why I put in the notes, hey, I was like, hey, IGN, it's too late to delete this. So
I don't even want to look. Real talk.
So
we're not going to touch on it, but IGN has to be the stupidest fucking place ever. I'm looking at you and that's not you, but IGN, that garbage ass Resident Evil 5 article. Like, can we really remake it? Shut up. Stop talking. God damn it, stop talking.
CJ, I'm going to transition with this. You can't spell ignorant without IGN.
The fact that that's been around since we were in high school speaks volumes on IGN.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So look here. Somebody said, and I quote, I actually do have the editor. I mean, not the editor, the writer's name of this article, which IGN promptly backtracked. You can't even find it. So it says, it's not new, and other games have chosen to highlight the strengths of their female characters. But where a Bayonetta stands out with the iconic character design, or 2B from Nier Automata inspires an entire generation of cosplayers, Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland. A doll sexualized by someone who has never seen a woman.
Now, bear in mind, I think there's only one trailer for Stellar Blade. Was it how many trailers is out for Stellar Blade so far? Because I remember seeing the initial trailer when they announced it.
The very, very first initial trailer, I think, dropped back in 2019.
Yeah, so I remember seeing it, and it's like, okay, I can understand to a degree how someone can make that statement, but at the same time, I feel that person that made that statement did it without any sort of context to back it up. And I feel that's probably why they took it down, because that person just said that shit with no context whatsoever to back it up.
Well,
that's my assumption, at least.
First of all, the person who put up the article didn't take it down. IGN themselves had to take it down because of the amount of backlash that this guy was getting. Because, bro, first of all, you're gonna go and say that the person who created the character was created by someone who obviously never seen a woman. All right, now let me switch this over real quick. So here we are from Shift Up. What you're seeing right now is a woman who is getting her entire body scanned to become Eve. Okay. Now, the woman in question is a South Korean model named Shin Jae-eun. And I have to say, sir, the accuracy is like there. Yes, they took some slight liberties, but it's like damn near, I want to say 95% her. Yes, they changed her face a little bit, but the body is her.
Yeah, I see. You know what? Okay, I think I've realized what this is. It's the equivalent of a white person trying to speak for black folks.
When they just need to shut up.
Yeah, it's kind of, okay, you know what it is? It's like how, I'm just using this as an example, right? It's like how you'll see a white person sit there and say, why did they give Eddie Gordo that hairstyle? As though they're speaking for black folks. Meanwhile, me as a black person, I'm like, okay, I understand. What, with respect to the fact that their hairstyle is being overused.
Son, the Killmonger needs to go.
No, but here's the thing. The only reason why I'm not tripping off that is because the hairstyles that used to be the staple in games, which was the afro or the fucking military buzz cut, I'm not tripping off the Killmonger. Yes, they need to dial it down a bit on that, because we are definitely
it's in every video game now. It's the new cornrows and afro.
But the thing of it is, I don't mind it, because look, if even outside of video games, a lot of motherfuckers are getting that goddamn hairstyle. So like it's kind of art imitates life a little bit, unfortunately. Because that's just how black hairstyles are. Look, think about it. Remember when Cassie got that goofy ass long hair on the side and short hair bullshit, and every fucking chick in the goddamn United States had that shit?
Or how everyone was copying the well, I won't say copying, but everybody saw what's his name? A freaking dubstep artist. Dude, why is his name escaping me? God, I hate getting old.
Gotta start writing it down like this, son of a bitch.
Like, no, I'm dead serious. Dude was like super popular with dubstep. Why can I not remember his name? Holy shit. I really have an old man moment here.
But it's like if a white person...
No, it was his haircut. Oh God, he had this song, Call 911. No, not Dead Mouse. Skrillex, thank you.
Skrillex,
Jesus. Yeah. Skrillex. When Skrillex did the whole half head shaved and the rest of his hair, dude, everybody did that. Hell, I kind of did that.
So it's like, if a white person sits there and says, why do you gotta do the Killmonger haircut? Even though we kind of low-key would agree, we're kind of gonna look at him like, dog, shut the fuck up. Right? We're gonna say that. It's the same thing here. This person literally was like, I'm going to say this, and I know I'm at least right on this, and you'll probably agree with me. This is a person that thought by virtue of saying that they had some fire that was going to be defending women that were like, why is that woman like that? And it didn't really hit the mark that they thought it did.
But now the writer for IGN, this is, by the way, this was off of IGN France.
Yeah, I forgot they had.
Guy's name is Ben Osola, and yeah, you know, some people just do not need to be writing articles.
Because my thing is
this was probably the worst take ever. Number one, the director, he's married. Dude is married to a concept artist who is gorgeous.
So to me, it's like you said that thinking that you said something fire, and it's like, bro, like
that's why I said it's not.
And we don't have
time. At the time, it's not too late. Take down the article.
And the thing is this: you didn't. To me, it feels as though you didn't have enough to know about the character to say that goofy shit in the first place. That's the problem too. It's like we got like a handful of trailers, but we don't know how that character is going to be in context of the game itself proper. So why even say that shit in the first place? It just felt like you just said that shit.
And it's not even so much that he said it, because it's him and it's everybody else that want to come out and talk out of both sides of their damn necks and say the most goofy shit about a game that, let's be real, a game that's bringing normalcy back to a world that has just gone fucking crazy with what we've been getting right now. Now you've already heard me make my jokes about how a lot of the Western games have been uglifying women. I make my jokes. I laugh at. I know you don't care, CJ. I get it, but
no,
hey,
it's not the fact that I don't care. I just think it's over exaggerated more than
you say. Over exaggeration. I kind of look at it and say, look, I'm not 100% on board, but you are on to something.
It's like, all right,
no, because they actually are on to something. Because how are you going to show me what the you're going to show me what the face model for the new Fable looks like? Gorgeous woman, and then I see what her in-game character looks like, and it looks like a fucking orc, and I'm like, bro, what the hell happened? Did somebody's keyboard get pulled out? Did somebody fall asleep on the keyboard and said, hey, this works? Like, what happened? And it's not just that character, it's across the board. Yes, I crack my jokes about Spider-Man 2 Mary Jane. I crack my jokes about Homegirl for Forspoken. I crack all my jokes about all these games that have these female protagonists looking like woof.
I don't think the Forspoken character was that ugly compared to like Mary
Now,
Jane.
I'm not saying that she was ugly, but I look at what her face model looked like, and I'm like, okay, face model looks like this. Then I go, what the hell happened here? Like it doesn't exactly look like her.
I put it in the Killzone 2 category where it's like,
then it's a lie.
Yeah, it's a lot because it's like
if you say Killzone 2, that's a lie, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's the Killzone 2 effect where it's like, I know they didn't purposely do it, but at the same time, it's like, what happened in the development process that you downgraded in your graphical quality to do that? Because it's like
downgrading, you thought nobody would notice.
Yeah, because it's like that's the thing too. I think in the core of it,
a lie.
Yeah, that's what, at the core of it, it's like, I know they didn't do it for some like we want to make these women look less ugly, but it's more like, why did you downgrade the graphical quality of your game from what you showed us? Because again, that's even with respect to a trailer. That's why I always respect gaming companies that actually put disclaimers saying, hey, this doesn't represent what the game looks like. And I think the mistake that's Forspoken and even Spider-Man 2 ran into, where it's like, you didn't put that disclaimer up, so you just put the expectations here, And then now when the game proper comes out, it's here now with the characters. The graphics for Spider-Man 2 is dope, but it's like you showed us this Mary Jane. Why graphically is she looking this?
I mean,
now it's not like to the
sub mid. Sub mid.
I can't even say sub. It's just mid, but it's like, why? What happened in the translation in post-production that led to this? I'm curious on what happened.
And the thing is, I don't think we're ever gonna know. But I do know one thing. No, I want to know, but I don't think we're ever gonna know. Microsoft, on the other hand, they're standing on business and saying, yeah, we don't want you to make any more of these exaggerated female characters. And I'm like, Microsoft, you guys have already been like holding on for dear life with your platform right now. Phil Spencer's been saying shit that does not make you look good, by the way. Now you got this
fucking understatement.
And now you got this. Now you got this stuff coming out talking about you don't want to make pretty girls anymore. So that Cortana that we got from Halo, the attractive one, the thick one, we're never gonna see that again. Is that what you're saying? All right, cool. Makes me wonder what the hell fucking Kate's gonna look like in Gears of War 6. Not ready for that. But going back to Stellar Blade, the reason why everybody's freaking out is because finally, after years and years of all the craziness that we've gotten, we get a game that takes us back to a time, I'm going to say a simpler time. Now, naturally, when I first saw the game, I said, okay, how does it, like, I wanted to see gameplay when I saw the initial trailer. Had to wait like a year later, we finally get that trailer footage, and we're seeing gameplay, and I'm like, okay, at first I'm thinking this is going to be on some Bayonetta, Devil May Cry type madness. But no, upon looking further, and I actually watched the demo because I don't have a PS5. Upon watching the demo, the game is definitely like Sekiro or like Sekiro and a little bit of Elden Ring, or it's got Soulsborne like features, but it's not a Souls game. So it definitely takes a lot of cues from Nier Automata as well. So on the surface, it does not play like it doesn't play like Devil May Cry or it doesn't play like Devil May Cry.
Speaking of downgrades, Team Ninja, Rise of Ronin. Okay, far be it for me to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I'm kind of tired of companies doing their gameplay like the Souls games, like Demon Souls and stuff now, because Rise of Ronin with Team Ninja, right? With Neo, it definitely, the gameplay felt smooth like Ninja Gaiden. Basically.
Neo and Neo 2.
Yeah, Neo, very Ninja Gaiden in the gameplay, fast paced and everything, right? It had a little bit of the Demon Souls quality to it, especially with the gameplay, but there was a very much like Ninja Gaiden fast paced speed to it, right? Especially with different the different layouts that you have for your characters and stuff, with the weapons and such. So, okay, I'm like, all right, cool. So Rise of Ronin, I'm like, all right, cool. It's going to be probably like Ghost of Tsushima with a little bit of Ninja Gaiden. All right, cool.
That's what everyone thought. Wishful thinking.
And I saw the gameplay and I'm like, so this is Demon Souls. Like, even Sekiro's gameplay was fast paced, right? But this
perfect parry.
Yeah, perfect parry and everything. This was like, so Rise of Ronin, from the gameplay I've watched on YouTube and people's gameplays walkthrough so far, it's very Demon Souls. Like, it's slow paced on the gameplay, and I'm like, why are we doing this? Why? I don't understand this.
It's because of the success of games like Dark Souls, Elden Ring. A lot of companies are trying to jump on that bandwagon. Dude, remember the Game Awards. Elden Ring swept.
You had success with Neo and Neo 2, critical darling games. Everybody fucking loved it. You got awards and praises, maybe not Game of the Year praises, but you were getting. Why would you like? It just feels like you're chasing. It feels like you're chasing a dragon at this point, trying to get. It just feels.
Yeah, and other companies, yes.
Yeah, so it's like me, I'm sitting back like, can we just go back to the days where we had a variety of these type of games where it's like you had your Ninja Gaidens, you had your Devil May Cries, you had your Bayonettas, and you had your Soulsborns and all those games. So where you had a variety of these type of action adventure games, and now
I can answer that question, CJ, and I can tell you the reason why that won't happen. Number one, the last actual Ninja Gaiden game that we got was Yaiba Ninja Gaiden that no one really cared about.
When did that come out?
Oh, that came out sometime after Ninja Gaiden 3.
Was that pre-pandemic?
Yeah, this was long pre-pandemic.
I remember Ninja Gaiden 3, a lot of people wasn't digging how easy it was.
No one was digging the fact that it was also a Wii U exclusive at the time. 3. Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge was a Wii U exclusive at first. It eventually came to other platforms, but it was on the Wii U.
Because I remember Dark Side Phil played it, and I was like, he didn't play that shit on the fucking Wii. And then
it was on Wii. It was on no, not Wii. It was on the Wii U.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember him playing it, and then I remembered he played the later ones, like you said, that came on. Yeah,
they came out. They got ported later.
Yeah,
but it was like I said, it wasn't Ninja Gaiden 3. It was Yaiba Ninja Gaiden. That was like the last Ninja Gaiden game to be put out, and then after that we got that travesty called the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection.
What was wrong with that again?
Buggy, censored, like everybody, and by censored I mean it was Ninja Gaiden. I would say to some people's argument, they'll say that Ninja Gaiden Black is still better than Ninja Gaiden Sigma.
Shit, OG Ninja Gaiden beats out both of those, but
yeah, but no. See, Ninja Gaiden Black was like the better version of OG Ninja Gaiden. No, because Black was on Xbox. It was on the original Xbox along with the first one. You remember that? They didn't nerf the what was it, the Flying Swallow. They did not nerf that.
I thought Black, they nerfed it.
They didn't nerf it. It got nerfed.
Or was it the PS3 one?
It was the PS3 version of Sigma. Okay, it was Sigma. Sigma was the one that came on PS3, and that got nerfed. The original Ninja Gaidens, which was OG Ninja Gaiden and Black. Ninja Gaiden Black is still like the top tier version of that game. So all we got were inferior ports. Number one, like Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, which is, oh God, why did you do that? Why did you give us that? You could have. All you had to do was go in, get the original game code from from OG Ninja Gaiden 2, which was bloody, gory, violent as all hell, the one that everybody wanted.
Yep.
And you give us this trash. No.
But it's just weird to me that Rise of the Ronin could have been the thing that would have gotten people back on board with Team Ninja after Neo and Neo 2, and then it kind of feels like a step. Graphically, game looks great. It's just gameplay. It just feel like it took 5 steps back from what Neo 2.
That game needs to go back in the oven. It needs to go back in the oven, dog. It ain't finished.
That is an understatement of a fucking lifetime. Speaking of, it needs to go back in the oven. Silent Hill 2 remake. What the fuck was that?
Hold on, before I jump on that. Bad Chocolate, you ain't shipping at the same time. You ain't wrong.
Well, of course, Inafune, it goes. You got to kind of keep that low key. That Inafune did.
Inafune did have a hand in it, but no, it's more known that Jessica Nigri was in all the ads for it.
That was free advertisement right there.
But still, it didn't help that game. But no, Ninja Gaiden, I'm with you. What the hell was that? Silent Hill 2. What was that? Should we be worried?
It's Konami. You should be worried.
No, but do you remember prior to that trailer drop? Remember when Konami came out and did that big press event of all of this Silent Hill goodness that we were getting? Remember No, hold on. You know that other one, that other trailer that dropped right after that was Silent Hill F, which looked like it's supposed to take place in, I guess, not feudal, but some kind of weird time in Japan. We saw no gameplay footage, so to me, that game doesn't exist until I see gameplay footage. But I'm sorry. That is my attitude with gaming, with all future games. Until I see gameplay footage, the game doesn't exist.
Well, look, you know what?
You show the scene doesn't do nothing.
You know why I'm feeling some way about this Silent Hill 2 remake? It's the fact that you can't give us all this great shit from Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. So you set the tone like, okay, Delta looks pretty fucking great. Yes, we saw the initial trailer, the teaser trailer, and then we saw another trailer with some gameplay, and it's like, okay, all right, Konami.
I can't really call it gameplay. It was more like the engine.
But I mean, the potential,
Unreal Engine.
Yeah, the potential is still there, right? So you're kind of like, all right, I'm on board with it. Jury is still out, obviously, but like, okay, cool. And then they put out the Silent Hill 2 remake trailer, and I'm like, this doesn't look like it's that much of a huge leap to current standards in comparison to what you showed us from Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. Like, it didn't feel, because even looking at screenshots, it just something feels off.
It looks off.
And also, why start at Silent Hill 2 and not 1 if you're going to do this?
Well, Chris, let's also keep this in mind again. I mean, come on, you and I have been through gaming history. Remember when Silent Hill gave us the Silent Hill HD collection, and that was also a steaming pile of garbage?
That's why I didn't buy it.
I didn't either.
I was about to hit that deliver from Amazon. I was like, oh no, we are not buying this.
Hey, do you remember Silent Hill, The Room?
Again, shout out to DSP. He outright let the chopper fly on how shitty that fucking Silent Hill XG collection was. He was like, yo, this is some bullshit. Bear in mind, I rarely take that dude's, verbatim on a lot of shit, but when the fact that him and other people were echoing the same sentiments, I was like, okay, well, shit.
Hey, look, I said it many times before. A broken clock is right 2 times a day. So, hey, like, he got both his times right on that.
And he played through the game, so
and he did play through it. Of course, he was getting money off of it. I would too if I was getting money per view just to play it. Sure, I'd play it and shit on it.
Yeah, so it's just this too. I'm just like, so y'all just got lazy. Now, do I think it? You know what? I wanted to like The Room. Let me put it that way. I did buy The Room. I wanted to like it. It's just
the best option when it came to Silent Hill in within the last generation and a half was PT. And Konami had to go and shoot themselves in the foot with a Gatling gun on that one.
Yeah, just going ahead and get a PlayStation Classic, mod it, and just get the OG Silent Hill and Silent Hill 2 and call it a day.
Yeah, get the old, get the old games, or go on the PlayStation store if you still got a PS3 and buy them.
True, but
you get them dirt cheap, or like you said, not allegedly emulated.
I mean, that's basically what I did with my PlayStation Classic. I modded
allegedly.
Hey, look, full disclosure. I mean, hey, I bought it. I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. So I modded the shit out of it.
You can. Yes, you can mod it. That is.
I paid my money for it, so I can do whatever the fuck I want to with it.
Saying you allegedly emulated. Please.
Was Tony gonna fucking come to my house, kick open the door, and then get a sledgehammer and bust it? Fuck out of here,
Chris. You better not hope that 3BG ever makes it big. I'm just saying, internet's forever.
What are they gonna do?
I ain't saying Sony. Brand deals. Look, I'm not gonna let you sneako us, all right?
Look, no, it's just like no, because look,
I'm messing with you, Chris.
No, look, man, look. Here's the thing. In the age of in the age of streaming, I'm already feeling some way that gaming companies want to try to pull that fucking gaming live service like their Netflix on us with gaming, and I'm like, oh yeah, you just pretty much open the door for people to ride the pirate ship,
and they will.
Because at this point, why am I like, come on, like, why would you do that? Like that. So at this point, yeah, I'm gonna add, like, it's kind of like, look, Jim Sterling said it best when Nintendo tried to play that bullshit with him. Here's the fucked up part about Nintendo, by the way. So Nintendo recently, they basically kneecapped this emulation company that was emulating their Nintendo games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was the stupidest and pettiest shit ever. Because I'm like, Nintendo, why would you do that to an emulation company that was actually helping you out with your games that you were putting out, right?
You gotta remember, it's Nintendo. They don't care.
Sony turned around and they actually reached out to, I forgot which emulation company, but they reached out to that emulation company. It was like, hey, can you guys help us with some of our older games for releases on our PlayStation platform? And it was like, yeah, sure. Oh yeah, I'm leaving with something. Like, nah. Like, nah, bro, like, you can't just, because that's why like streaming right now, a lot of these streaming platforms, like, we're looking at you, Warner Brothers, recently Warner Brothers they took down a lot of their movies off of Max, which I'm like, what's the point of me having HBO Max now? Like, why?
We're also not even going to get into it about how Crunchyroll basically absorbed Funimation like Perfect Cell, and because of whatever contract or whatever was going on at Funimation, if you bought any digital version of anything, none of your digital purchases get transferred over to Crunchyroll. Oh, and on top of that, Crunchyroll, on top of that, just to add, we're going to take that giant open wound and we're going to pour an entire can of Morton's salt in it. Crunchyroll had the nerve to say, hey, $25 is what you was paying a year, right? Well, now that we've absorbed Funimation, get ready to spend that $100. Because fuck you. That's why.
Man.
So,
yeah.
With all that in mind, everybody's going to be sailing the 7 seas eventually.
Yeah.
Streaming services is causing that. Gaming going into live services.
You might as well say 100%. You might as well say 100%.
Yes, we do know.
Oh yeah,
retro section of Twitch is 98% of folks just emulating, and that's not even a lie.
Oh, it's great to watch.
Now, hold on. Now you could be like certain folks. Shout out to our boy Carsey, who does play on original hardware. Especially whenever he's doing like his speed run practices.
Yeah, Resident Evil ones, like the OG Resident Evil.
All of his Resident Evil games.
Which I have to imagine trying to set that up with like newer sort of streaming software has to be a pain unless they made it a little bit easier now.
No, unless you were one of the early adopters who bought Elgato products from the very beginning. I bought the original Elgato Game Capture HD, the one that looked like freaking box, the one that you can actually plug in component cables for. Yes, it came with a full 1 second delay when whatever you're doing on TV shows up like a full second later on your monitor. But some people still use that, and some people were. What's up?
Has technology advanced to where if I wanted to stream on PS3, I can do that, or is it pretty much that's done?
No. So I remember. No, for PS3, I remember now. PS3 has that damn HD, the HDCP block on it. So when you if you try to go from HD,
was able to do it back in the day. Then
everybody was doing it using component cables. Not the yellow, red, and white, but the freaking 6 cables.
The green,
the green, red, and blue.
Yeah.
By using that. Or you had to go out and buy an additional piece of hardware. You had to buy an HDMI splitter that has the bypass for the HDCP protection.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to run it from HDMI to HDMI, you could do that. But you had to buy a secondary piece of hardware in order to bypass it because because fucking PlayStation is stupid like that.
Folks, I have been wanting to fucking stream 50 Cent Blood in the Sand. For just to show people how great that game is.
Better get it on Xbox.
Look, man. I got it on the PS3 because I played the shit out of it and stuff. And it's like, maybe I need to go on ahead and just emulate that shit and just put it on my fucking thing that I got and just play it on that because that like because people really like, is 50 Cent Blood and Sand that good?
Blood and Sand was fun. It's a fun game.
It's good and fun. I ain't gonna lie, man.
It's a guilty pleasure fun game, but that was the biggest problem when trying to play PS3 games. Unless you had a HDMI by a splitter / bypass, trying to go HDMI like 1-to-1 HDMI was not gonna work. You had to go component, which was again stupid. And then remember, PS4 gave you that. We had to wait. Of course, you had to wait for that option because you couldn't go HDMI to HDMI. You had to wait until they did that software update where you can go in and hit what was it, the game capture mode. But here's the dumb part. I think if you put it in, if you added the game capture mode on PS4, if you're playing, remember all the cutscenes would get blocked.
Oh no, that's why like when I streamed on PS4, I turned that shit off when I was streaming. Not directly streaming off of it, but like so the Elgato that I'm currently using with playing on PS5, I use that on a PS4. But in order for that to work, so it didn't block, you had to turn off one of the options in the settings to where you can actually use it. The downside is if I want to play Blu-rays on the PS4, PS5, I have to turn
you gotta turn
it
it back on.
I gotta turn it back on and play Blu-rays and stuff. So that's the only hang up with it. But even then, I always felt it was stupid that Sony did that bullshit of like, hey, let's block cutscenes because that's
when
the
you're
reason
live
why.
streaming from within the PlayStation.
That's the reason why I'm actually gonna go back and replay Kingdom Hearts 3 because I remember I played it on the PlayStation 3 at the time. And it was the most shittiest fucking experience streaming because everybody was watching it and loving me playing it, and then cutscenes blocked it. I was like,
I remember coming in. I was like, "Hey, this cutscene's blocked. I can't see cutscenes."
I was like, okay, let me go ahead and buy this shit.
I'm like,
This
why are you
bullshit.
streaming? I was like, why are you streaming within the PlayStation?
Yeah, I think Yakuza 6 was the first game I streamed off to the Elgato and stuff, and everybody enjoyed that run. But I was mega pissed because I'm like, the fuck were you? Why are you block? Like, yo, let people play the goddamn game.
I'm like, bro, nobody uses this. No one who really takes streaming seriously ever streams within the console. I mean, only people. It's the most handicapped version of it.
I mean, the only games I've seen people use the PlayStation streaming for is stuff like Sims.
Yeah, something that's not going to get blocked. But
Sims, which funny enough, I forgot how huge of an industry the Sims is in terms of streaming. By the way,
and shout outs to everybody that was doing what was it, live from PlayStation. All the incriminating shit that we saw year one. I saw people get high. I saw people smashing. I saw
Dark Side jerking off in front of it. Well, no, he didn't do it.
He wasn't. It wasn't live from PlayStation. He had his own OBS stream up. Forgot to turn the camera off, and that's what led to that mess. It's just that the PS4 was turned on, and it was at the menu. So it was the menu music playing while this man was
that man that was the dude that fingered his wife on the fucking PlayStation shit.
Yes, that happened. There was another guy that did that.
Oh, man.
I think but it's bad when Sony shuts down your stream. Like when someone catches it, if you're not streaming it directly to if you're not on Twitch, you went to Ustream. Hey guys, remember Ustream?
Ustream.
Those were your only two options back then when streaming on PS4.
Yeah.
So as you would say, Sony has some lofty ass ideas.
Yeah, look, even before Sony did that, you know what pissed me off? Who the fuck company that does Persona?
Atlas
goofy ass was like, hey, if you're streaming Persona 5 or whatever, we don't want you to
only
stream
get to a certain date
point.
And then
that has to be the most dickless move ever because it's like, bro, people are gonna spoil the fucking game anyway on YouTube and Reddit. So what the fuck does it matter if somebody put the video out? Like,
I do believe one time that happened. Before they even said anything, someone already put the ending out.
Yeah, it was stupid as shit because it's like, okay, you did that to prevent people spoiling certain things. Bro, it's the internet. It's going to get fucking spoiled regardless of what you try to do.
You got people that probably been playing that game for a whole month before the game even came out and kept it on the quiet.
Thank you. I can understand if you gave people early access and you don't want them to spoil it. Okay, that's fair because fine, right? That's a thing that happens in the industry when you get early access. Like, you have to kind of keep the footage that you do to a minimum until that embargo is up, and then you can put out shit. Because there's a bunch of people that I follow that had like MK1 spoilers out like the week and a half before the game came out because they had early access and the embargo was up. That's how I knew about some of the spoil. I think a lot of us knew about the spoilers from MK1 before the game dropped and stuff. So, you know.
Speaking of MK1, I'm gonna mention this thing, and before we go over to Street Fighter and Evo, MK1, boy, Warner Brothers, I really did have high hopes and expectations. I mean, come on, we talked to Ed Boon, we met the guy and talked about MK1, and from the looks of it, the game does look dope. Like graphic wise, it was cool.
After that first week, when people peeped game on that Conqueror mode and saw that it was a live service shit.
It was the invasions. The invasion. When the invasion happened, remember, if you beat the story mode, if you beat the original story, the game ends with it connecting to Havoc. And the very first invasion was supposed to be about Havoc.
Mhm.
They go and pull a bait and switch and made it all about Melina and gave us these trash ass costumes for her and like a select few. You know, everybody else did not get a costume, and nobody is liking this. Like, I'm
not liking is an understatement, sir.
I'm this close from saying, hey, NetherRealm, I'm gonna need you to take this game, take it out back. Here's a double barrel shotgun. Do work.
When people are saying that R.I.P. Akira Toriyama, when people are saying that they'd rather see Dragon Ball Fighter Z on the main stage than MK1, tells you something.
Yeah,
that tells you something.
Yeah, which?
Well, okay, all right. Well, let's rewind it back. Street Fighter 6. So, right now, I think you had an article up about the leaks and stuff, and
I'll get to the leaks first. Let's go ahead. Yeah, let's drop this thing about Akuma.
Which, if you follow the initial leak roster, you kind of saw Akuma coming because
Akuma's a part of this season. He's the last character for season 1.
Oh, I know that, but you remember that initial roster? It had Akuma and some of the other characters that got released at this point anyway. So it was kind of like, all right, cool.
Oh yeah, I remember
that original roster. It was supposed to be the initial launch roster with the season 1 characters. So now Akuma's here. And I'm gonna be honest, this is what's kind of had me sitting in the back waiting to play Street Fighter 6 again, because I do want to see how Akuma plays.
I'm thinking he's gonna be like how he was in Street Fighter 5 with a little bit of what the fuck is old boy from
what, Asura?
No, old boy Ryo.
Goken?
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, he's looking like Goken a little bit now, to be fair.
I mean, he's going full white, full beard.
Yeah, he's looking a little Goken. I mean, if Ryu is,
it is his brother after all.
Yeah, if Ryu is looking a little bit like Akuma with the beard and all that and shit, it's like, yeah, it's matching up, but he's looking a little beefy.
Actually, no. To be honest, he's looking more Oni with a beard.
Which, I mean, given his motif, I can see the Oni aspect to him for sure.
So yeah, Akuma's here, waiting for that. Waiting for the game to officially update and add him. But again, I wish I actually got gameplay footage, but hopefully they'll drop a footage. They'll drop a trailer with actual footage. So now I want to get into the leaked season 2 roster.
So the leaked character roster, it's basically apparently M. Bison, Sakura, R. Mika, Elena. Who am I missing? And a new character, if I remember.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a new character, no name. They said this character is either going to be African or Middle Eastern or something. Again, nothing's really clear. Also Vega.
Yeah,
you already said Bison, but yeah, Vega's supposed to be in it too.
Yeah, so here's my thing.
And real quick before I let you finish. When this thing leaked, and this is actually from someone who has a very good track record of being accurate when it comes to leaking stuff. Both Sakura and Elena in this. I think they're also added to the leak list as well. Everybody right now feels this is the most mid announcement for season 2.
Yeah,
ever.
It's only mid because their fave didn't get picked, and that's that. And I gotta be honest with you. As much as I can understand the sentiment of calling it mid, I gotta also say tough shit. Sorry. There are characters that I would love to see come back in Street Fighter. Trust me. I think you and D have talked offline at length of certain characters from like Alpha 3, Third Strike. Trust me, there is a lot of characters that we would love to see, and not just Street Fighter, a lot of other games that never make the cut. There are still a contingent of people in Tekken that want to see Bruce come back. Totally understand. Right?
He's not coming.
He's not coming back.
Bruce is not even popular.
Yeah, so it's like I can understand it, but at the same time, again, it's only mid because your fave character that you wanted didn't make the cut.
Well,
That's how I see it.
I totally understand why this is mid, because half of these characters were DLC characters. Like, for example, Sakura, this is the second time that she's been a DLC character in a Street Fighter game. Because she was DLC. When was she?
4.
That was Super.
I still count that as DLC.
Even though when you buy Super and all those characters came with it,
I know, but I still kind of count.
I don't count that because you weren't because if you can't because if you can't buy the characters separately, then it doesn't count. You had to buy a whole new game, which everybody had already abandoned the old game anyway.
I mean, it was still,
but yeah. No, this still counts as the second time, because if you're buying the characters individually, like you could buy Sakura by herself, and you can buy her by herself in this game too. For them to make Sakura DLC and now Elena is DLC,
to me, it's less. I think it's more so people just wanted. I see a lot of people, they want Sean. Trust me, I definitely want Sean to come back, even though
I want Sean.
We all know that Luke is supposed to be Sean. And
no, he's not.
Shit.
No, he's not.
Shit. You look at the move of how Luke operates.
I've seen how Luke operates. I've seen his functions, if you will. I've seen how he moves. You're not Sean, dude. If you're not tossing the basketball at people, no, you're not him.
Take the basketball out the equation. The way he operates, I can see a lot of Seanisms in there, especially the way his tackles and all that stuff. I see it.
You know what else I see? You know what else I see a lot of, CJ? I see a lot of people saying, "Hey, delete Luke, make Ryu the main character again."
That's why I'm saying those kind of comments. That's why these things are called in mid. It's like, okay, I can understand disappointment, but like I think Ryan Hart came out and was like, I don't know if it was Ryan Hart, it was somebody that said it would be nice if we knew ahead of time what the character roster would be, but I think that defeats the purpose of,
because they got to make these announcements at Evo, and everybody's got to get hype when they see a character and gameplay footage and yada yada yada. The same stuff that we've been seeing for like the last 8-10 years.
Oh, but past that though, it's like I think it defeats the purpose of, because to me, they're like Ryan Hart and them are coming at it from the competitive aspect of, I want to know what character I'm getting ahead of time so I can strategize. And I'm like, okay, dog, deal with it. Like you act like you're going to get some super secret advantage. No, like, okay, let's say you knew ahead of time that you're getting Sakura. How is that going to necessarily change how you play?
Well, it's the same way how people who got a hold of the full beta to play and continue playing Street Fighter 6 as well as Tekken, because remember, there's still $1 million. I think it's what, $1 million or $2 million or whatever riding on this right now. So
I thought the person already won it.
Yeah.
Oh, Evo Japan. That's right. I forgot Evo Japan.
Yeah, Evo Japan's happening, but just going on for these characters. I mean, me personally, I'm kind of in the middle. Like I expected this. I expected you to make mainstay Day Uno characters DLC, because I mean, hell, everybody's doing it at this point. You're bringing back in Bison. Why? I really want to know.
You saw how Street Fighter 5 kind of went.
I mean, Street Fighter 5, he's pretty, you killed him. He's gone, but
Bison's clone, because Palpatine.
And even it's supposed to be no, don't do that. Don't. God, I hated Star Wars for doing that stupid shit.
But did you know Street Fighter does that same garbage?
Yeah, Street Fighter does it too, but I mean, bro, then what's the point of JP? What is the point of him? Don't be bringing back these characters if you're gonna.
Oh, good.
Don't be bringing back these characters if you're gonna do some stupid shit like this. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Look. Spoilers for Tekken 8. Just when we thought we were done with the devil shit, who pops up? Fucking Reina has the devil gene. And I'm like,
that was
just going back. Like, I'm not mad at it.
No, that was no surprise whatsoever.
Like, to me, I'm not mad at it because now you have a different dynamic with her and June, right? Like, obviously, that's what they're gunning for. Like, June is going to be the one that has to probably take her down now or some shit, because it's not like Jin has beef with Reina. It really doesn't. So it's.
I don't even want to go into the story of Tekken 8, because even though the story to me was a little bit better than 7 story mode, there was like all of these interactions and like between certain characters where I'm like, you guys have history. No one's bringing it up. You guys aren't even talking about, the history that you have with each other. Because case in point, remember Asuka and Jin was supposed to be a thing. Like they're supposed to be family,
cousins.
and yet they don't even acknowledge the fact that they're family.
Yeah, it's weird. I think once June came in, it's like, so what's up with that connection?
And then Asuka and Lily was supposed to be Sakura and Karen in Tekken form, but once Asuzina shows up, it became tea versus coffee. Even when they interact with each other, it's like, we don't have our rivalry anymore. And I'm like, what is really going on with this game?
Street Fighter, to be honest, they need to kind of pull from Bandai Namco and really straighten their fucking story out. Because it's weird that your comic side at least straighten the story out a bit, but you can't parlay that into the video games.
Yeah.
I don't understand that whatsoever. Like it's strange, but it's like, that's why I said with this thing with Street Fighter 6, it's like I can understand being disappointed. I mean, of course you're gonna be disappointed, but at the same time, it's like it is what the fuck it is. Like,
hold on, I didn't like Jin's face turn after the whole. No, I know he started World War III on purpose, but I understood why he did it too. It just made the whole thing about Tekken 6 kind of irrelevant, seeing how. God, they did bring back freaking Azazel in Tekken 8 for the story. And
apparently he's the king that runs all the devils. And I'm like,
turned out to not be a thing.
Didn't want the thing until Tekken 8. I'm like, because I thought he was just some random, he's another ancient
Bro, didn't
creature.
you see him? Hold up. Didn't you see him show up in Tekken 8? And Kazi is like, yeah, let me get that up off you real quick. And he just snatched his power from him.
I was waiting for fucking, what was the old boy from Tekken 3?
Dr. Boskanovich?
No.
Well, you said the old boy, so
no, the creature from Tekken 3. Fuck.
Not gone.
Was it Ogre?
Oh, fucking Ogre.
Yeah, the fact that Ogre kind of had a connection to I was about to say Azazel.
Azazel.
Azrael. I'm like, well, that's weird. Okay, fine. All right, cool. Whatever. And then Jinpachi, that was a fucking grand opening, grand closing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Only appeared in 2 games, 5 and Tag 2.
Tag 2 is not
done.
Canon. But so speaking of which, Evo lineup.
I got
happening.
that. I got
it. So
here we are here we are with Evo. Here we are with Evo 8. First of all, congrats to Evo 8 congrats to Evo for one thing. They got, what was it, Evo Day. It just sucks that Evo Day is happening after Evo is over, because I think they said Evo is going to be, Evo Day is in August, not July.
The fuck, they expect people to fly to damn Vegas?
No, I mean, it would have been cool if they held Evo during a weekend of Evo Day or something, but they're doing Evo the same time as San Diego Comic-Con this year. And
no, it's before that, because remember, it's DreamCon is the same weekend as San Diego, and Evo is like a week before. So.
I thought Evo's the same week. When is San Diego?
San Diego is July 25th through 28th. Evo is literally like
it's the week. So it is the week before.
Yeah, it's the week before. Because remember, DreamCon and Evo were the same weekend. And a lot of folks was like, "Yeah, I ain't going to fucking DreamCon because of Evo."
I'm not going either, but that's because of reasons. But I got my reasons why.
Now you got, and which, if you think about it, Evo and San Diego Comic-Con being on the same weekend, it's kind of a counterproductive thing on both conventions, because on one hand, you're still going to get a lot of people going to San Diego. The other side of it is those people that's going to Evo would have more likely been at San Diego Comic-Con too. So it was kind of like a thing that was going to hurt. And then you add DreamCon to the mix. It's a fucking shit show of a mess. So money wise, it made sense to have Evo out of the crosshair of San Diego Comic-Con, if we're going to be honest.
I would, and me personally, I would have really only went to Evo to just check out the merch. Just to check out the merch.
I think Evo, what's been great about Evo, and I think this is the thing.
Give me some buttons.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's been great for Evo and its evolution is that instead of it being strictly just a outlandish fighting game tournament, they have found a way to kind of make it a sort of convention experience on top of it being a fighting game tournament to kind of give people more bang for their buck for being at Evo, which I think is a good thing. And
yeah, because not everybody's there to participate in the tournament.
Yeah, it's a smart business decision too, because now you got your average person. It's kind of like basically kind of like esports in a way. Like people may not they might not play Dota, but they're gonna fucking go to this event because they have other things happening during these Dota events past just the competition.
Yeah.
So I think that's a smart play to do it.
So here, number one, I was surprised to hear that Evo is now going back to the Las Vegas Convention Center. They finally left the Mandalay. They left the Mandalay Bay, and now they're at the Convention Center.
Yeah, it's a bigger space. I think it's a bigger space in at the Convention Center. They also have it's. I mean, it's such a big space that even the main stage at the Convention Center, they can still set it up like how they had it at the Mandalay Bay, and it makes it easier to where people can either go to inside the main convention area and watch the main stage stuff happen, or they can just still kind of peruse the vendor hall and still kind of keep aware of the action, which I think is a good thing. But yeah, Third Strike is making a comeback at Evo, as you can see.
Yeah, well, here's the full lineup. We got Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Under Night and Birth, Under Night and Birth 2, Mortal Kombat 1. I don't know why that game is even there. Guilty Gear Strive, Guilty Gear Strive, King of Fighters 15, and Third Strike. So Evo, we're just gonna yeet that Marvel 2 thing, huh? Because remember Marvel 2 was supposed to be celebrating its anniversary at Evo, but pandemic happened and it was 2020, but there's been nothing. It's like Marvel. Everybody knows you see that space sitting right next to Third Strike. If that said Marvel versus Capcom 2, folks would be going nuts right now.
But I mean, granted, it's still time for a surprise, so you never know. But
dude, that thing is going to be a salty sweet.
I mean,
you already know that thing is going to be a side game in the corner, a salty sweet.
Maybe. I mean, look, the thing about even some of the side games, they will stream it, so you never know. They might pull a surprise and be like, "Hey, Marvel 2." So
no, see, I need this game. No, when it comes to the games, especially games that's going to be on the main stage, they have to announce it ahead of time. They have to announce it to give people time that still play this game to, shake the cobwebs off and, get the practice and hit that lab, get online and play against people so you can enter and get on stage. Like to have the game show up as a surprise at the event and not tell nobody is going to have people feeling some way.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a competitor. Because I'm like, bro, I would have been practicing if you were really serious about announcing. Don't just spring it on us at the day that we show up.
Yeah.
So with all these games, again, not counting you, Mortal Kombat, but of all these games that are here, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they're here and they're going to get their time to shine again. Shout outs to King of Fighters 15. All of South America is going to be riding. We're going to be seeing all the flags of South America, Mexico, and whatnot. Spain, like it's going to be nuts. I'm looking forward to watching that.
KOF is going to be interesting because I think with Guru, because it was like early footage.
Yeah, Garo City of the Wolves.
I think that's going to be because is that releasing next year?
Yes, it said early, so we're looking at possibly January. January of next year is when the game more than likely will drop.
So this is a possibility. This is KOF 15's last year before Guru probably takes the main stage next year. Probably.
I doubt it. Because King of Fight, we're still going to get more King of Fighters games. Now, is it going to be
both games might be in top 8 then if that's the case?
Yeah, because if we're right now, City of the Wolves is a Fatal Fury game that people feel, I like the way it looks and I love the way that it plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually want to get the game in hand and see how it plays for myself because they really are paying full attention to how Mark of the Wolves played, where remember Mark of the Wolves was pretty much the Third Strike of SNK.
Yeah, just
And
they had Just Defend, and then the
like Just
bar.
Defend and the freaking TOP mode,
Yeah,
where if you put it at the beginning, middle, or end, you get like crazy special into special. Like you can cancel everything. It's like the Roman cancels from Guilty Gear Rev 2, where you can just cancel a special into another special. Game was nuts. So I'm looking forward to playing that game when it drops, but this is definitely not the end of King of Fighters.
I think MK1 is going to definitely miss out next year for sure. For sure.
Bro, if they don't fix Mortal Kombat 1 by Evo next year, that game is so off
Dude,
the
next
table.
year I guarantee you, next year is going to be Street Fighter 6. It's going to definitely still be Tekken 8, KOF 15, Guru. Grand Blue is going to be interesting if they keep it. One of the anime games is going to still be intact for sure. Guilty Gear is going to probably still be there. But like Grand Blue and Under the Night in Birth, those are going to be the ones that's going to be a toss up to me.
Unless Melty Blood gets a sequel.
True. Or what's that game that's out on PC with the different characters that have like different fighting styles or whatever?
Oh, what? DNF Duel?
Yeah.
I mean, the game has already been out, but I don't see it.
I'm surprised it never hit Evo stage after
that one is much. That's an anime game that I don't think has a big a fan base as Under Night or Grand Blue or especially Melty Blood.
What about the other game that's based off of Dota? It's one of them.
Dungeon Fighter.
Yeah, is that something
that's never coming to Evo?
Shit. Everybody keeps hyping that game up though.
People like it, but that's gonna be a side game.
What's up, like from your perspective? What is up with those games not really gaining traction? Because I remember when those games first got announced, everybody was like, "Oh man, this is gonna kill in the fighting game community. It's gonna do this
and it
that.
doesn't."
And then it doesn't. So I'm like, "What the fuck is going on here?" Like,
because it's the same thing that King of Fighters does to the FGC, which is like highly built off of Street Fighter, Marvel. Because remember, the FGC has built themselves off of like originally the grassroots FGC really got its basis off of 3 types of Street Fighter games, and that's kind of hard to break that balance. Bringing in anime games, which by the way, remember for the longest time, FGC looks at anime fighters as not even real fighters in their opinion, much like how they look at Smash. They put Smash in the same Smash and anime fighters were put in that same category of not real fighting games. They let Guilty Gear slide, I guess, but I'm like, if you're letting Guilty Gear slide, you might as well let these other games slide in as well. Why these other types of games don't catch on is it could be a number of things. The trials, like the trial mode, like the little combo challenge or whatever, can be like stupid difficult to them. Remember King of Fighters 13, the combo trials?
One frame links.
Yeah, stuff like that. Stuff like that nobody can really get behind and play. I
respect KOF 13 for that because they stuck to the guns. Like, no, we wanted to do something different. And I mean, yeah, they shot for the moon for that, but I'm glad that they switched up for 14 and 15. Like, nah, let's ease up off that.
They shot for the moon, but they definitely divided the fan base. 13, I believe, divided the fan base. You got people that love the 2D, and I love 2D KOF, but my favorite 2D KOF will forever be 98. Like, I was
98.
97, 98. Like 2002 was cool from the roster standpoint, but 97, 98 was like my favorite. I played the hell out of both of those games, especially during our high school years. Like, I love those games. Like, they're just classic games. They kept it simple. There was no there was a max mode, but it wasn't like you bust out max mode mid combo and all that. It was never really like that. Like, you could still do some crazy shit in those games, but I just love the classic feel of the old games. Now, I do like KOF 15, of course. What to do with like with this lineup though? Like, if next year rolls around, if we don't see Grand Blue And the only reason why Grand Blue's in here because they got a new version, which was Versus Rising.
Yeah.
And Under Night is in there because this is the second Under Night game that everybody's been waiting on.
Yeah.
And because those games have a lot of traction, that's the reason why people are lining up for these games to be at Evo.
Well,
now the game I'm kind of half expecting. I'm not saying I'm putting 100% hope in this, but I would love for it to show up. Pocket Bravery.
Actually, I just had a thought now. So, Multiverses is making a comeback since it's getting a fully realized.
Yeah, they're making it into a full game.
Which I could see the potential of that, and that's barring if it gains traction. I could see Multiverses getting into it. If it gains traction and it keeps consistent with what it's doing, I could see that maybe. Because you remember Evo 1 year, they did do PlayStation All-Stars for that 1 year, and then everybody thought it was coming back. Well, I'm not gonna say everybody. It was just after that Evo was like, nah, we're good. We're good. We got Smash over here. We don't need you.
It's like, so, it came in to serve its purpose, but
there are people that think that Xenoverse should get it. Why? I don't fucking know. Because that's the equivalent of wanting the fucking Naruto games to Evo. Like, why would you? Why? Yeah. Look,
you will not see an arena fighter game.
No disrespect to people that love those games. It's just weird to me that like when Xenoverse got announced, everybody's like, finally, the real fighting game is back. I'm tired of Fighter Z, and I'm like, this is like a downgrade. You know this, guys.
Horrible downgrade.
Like the fun of Xenoverse, I understood because of the customizations people were doing, like throwing CJ from Grand Theft Auto and doing all that shit, and it was funny. I ain't gonna get it twisted, but I'm like, all right, cool, I guess. So I can see Multiverses for sure getting it, but I don't know. It's the fighting game kind of thing is very weird. Of what you can really get that's going to kind of gain traction for folks. So, I mean, I don't know. You have a better chance of Rumblefish 2 getting fucking main stage before anything else gaining traction, to be honest.
That's another one that will probably never show up.
I mean, Samurai Showdown had it for 2 years straight before they just said.
And so did King of Fighters. King of Fighters held it down for a little bit. Not King of Fighters. Sorry, I meant Killer Instinct.
Don't say King of Fighters, sir.
No. Killer Instinct held it down.
Didn't they have 4 years? 4 years or so?
Yeah, they went through every single season. Yeah, via Evo. So
no, I would say about 5 years straight.
Yeah, they had a good run, but they haven't been back. They haven't been back since.
Yeah, who does Killer Instinct?
Well, Microsoft owns Killer Instinct, but it was Iron Galaxy that picked it up after High Noon left.
I really feel that they could have done something with Killer Instinct that would have really. I think another company could really put Killer Instinct back on the map and keep it consistent. And part of me feels that Microsoft wanted to sit there. They wanted that live service money out of Killer Instinct, and it wasn't hitting to the money that they wanted, and that's why they probably abandoned that shit. That's how I see it, at least.
Yeah. I do remember. Well, Killer Instinct was in a weird position because when I think it was not High Noon, High Voltage. When High Voltage was the one who developed the game from the ground up and made it amazing. Microsoft apparently didn't. I don't think they fully realized what they had on their hands, because if I was Microsoft, I'd been like, hey, here's some money. We're buying the studio. We're keeping you guys in house with us, and we're good. What happened? Amazon, with the upset, sneaks in, snatches that development team from Microsoft, and there was nothing Microsoft could do about it. So they had to go to Iron Galaxy to finish out seasons 2 and 3 for KI. And I'm like, hey, Microsoft, this would be a good opportunity for you to try to do what you should have did with High Voltage and just buy Iron Galaxy. And you didn't. So now they're sitting here with one Killer Instinct game and everybody asking for a sequel. And the problem is that they have no one that can make the game.
Yeah, I don't know who you could really like.
Who can you get? No, seriously, who could you really go to? What developer can they even ask to make Killer Instinct 2?
Shit. Hard pressed to find that shit.
I mean, especially the way that the game is designed. I mean, like Iron Galaxy had to look at the blueprint that was left behind by High Voltage and build off of that.
Yeah. I mean, that's
what I said. But that's but that's what I said earlier. Next year I would love to see Pocket Bravery at Evo.
Yeah. I think it's like you said, it's like a lot of these games that like aren't from the main brand. Like, look, even on Bandai Namco, Soul Calibur, the fact that Soul Calibur died like a slow death after 6 speaks volumes.
It wasn't slow. It was pretty
fast, I should say. It was kind of forgettable in my eyes. I played the last Soul Calibur, and it's like, I remember I was playing through the single player, and I was like, I see what you're doing, but like, there's nothing that's like grabbing me compared to even Street Fighter V at the time when it was out.
For a game called Soul Calibur, it lacked the soul.
Yeah, because like even with all the issues that Street Fighter V had at that time, Street Fighter V was keeping my fucking attention, and that says a lot. Like, I mean,
Samurai Showdown, another dead
Samurai
game.
Showdown was keeping my. Actually, I would say, dare I say, Samurai Showdown kept my attention way more than Soul Calibur.
No, that's what I'm saying. A game that also died lasted longer than Soul Calibur 6 did.
What was it? Fighting whatever.
Fighting Layer.
Fighting Layer EX had more of my fucking attention than Soul Calibur.
That Terry Bogard DLC was that came in clutch.
Like, bro, like you really had to sit there and question Bandai on that Soul Calibur rollout. Like, you really had everybody hyped for Soul Calibur 6, and then it just
nosedive. I mean, you gave us Hamaru and 2B.
Oh, and old boy from The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
He was one of the characters in the which he was fun to play in that game, but and chick from Nier Automata.
Yeah, I said 2B.
Yeah. So that's 3 guest characters that were good, but like I think at that point it was just kind of
it didn't matter anymore.
Do I care? Like
it really didn't matter. And I actually bought that not the collector's edition. I bought the special edition where the characters just dropped in as they were making them one by one.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God I got it on the cheap. I was not paying full price for that. I got that crap on the cheap.
Let me ask you this, just to end the show off. So obviously we know that Code Veronica is on the bubble with Capcom in terms of remakes finally, right? We don't know when that's going to happen. And obviously, like I mentioned earlier about Resident Evil 5 and IGN saying that goofy ass shit, Resident Evil 5 is obviously on the docket of being remade.
It's definitely getting remade.
It's definitely getting remade. Do you think the system, because we played Resident Evil 5 to fucking death, even to the point of platinum it, do you think they're going to how do you see their iteration of the buddy system in that game compared to how the OG was? Like, what do you see it as? Kind of like Resident Evil 6?
God, no, because that's a game that needs to be burnt to straight ash.
Well, I'm saying in terms of just like,
if they were to do this, if they're to make the game and keep, go with that whole buddy system again, if they do it, you have to try to bring in more of that horror element. Kind of like what you did with RE4 remake, where you still kept it Resident Evil. It wasn't like a full-blown out-and-out action game like OG is. Because let's be real, OG is definitely a full-on action game. It's just an action game that you could play solo. But
4 had some moments where I'm like, holy fuck, stop. Hey. There was some moments, like, case in point, the red cloak guy that he powers up everybody. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
you're fucking with me right now. Like, all right, okay.
Yeah, but in the case of 5, you got to change a lot of. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed up, and still keep a lot of the most popular moments from the game intact, and keep it faithful to the original.
Oh yeah.
But I would say introduce I would say give us the overwhelming odds like you did in the. You remember the very, very first trailer for RE5 where you saw all these gimmicks that Chris could do that he ended up not doing when the game actually released.
I'm trying to remember what was the gimmicks.
Okay, so one of the gimmicks was this: he could actually punch people.
He could, but you had to.
No, not. I'm not talking about counter. I'm not talking about none of that. Because if you remember when you actually had to shake somebody off.
Yeah.
In the original trailer, it showed him shaking like an enemy off of him, and he went in and just straight one hitter quitter, and then knocked over everybody. So they got rid of that.
So we're talking like RE4 remake with Leon, kind of giving some more combat options.
Yeah, like you can give him more combat options. That, not to mention the amount of overwhelming odds. Because, dude, in the original trailer, he had at least. It was like 12 dudes coming at him all at once. Like 12, like 12. it was 12 enemies coming at him. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, I gotta pull up that trailer, dude. That thing still gets me because I'm like, how? I was like, dude, how the hell could we play this on PS3 back then?
Yeah, it's because, but like I said, I think you have that, and then you get the addition of like. Oh, that's weird. They really would have to fully revamp the buddy system. I do feel like even past that, like I can see the RE4 thing where they expand on certain things that like I have a feeling that if they do the RE5 remake, a lot of the stuff from that Desperate Escape shit with Jill and Josh, they're gonna probably kind of sort of put that into the game
and the Spencer Mansion thing too from what was it something Nightmares
and something whatever,
basically the story of what happened,
which in and of itself that's how a RE1 remake should be, and that's why I'm kind of still puzzled on Capcom starting the remakes off with like RE2 and not just doing one in a fully revamped
because one was so good. Like one was it took a minute, and again with the game being fully exclusive to the GameCube at the time, and it was because the game did not sell as much as they originally wanted it, which is what made them go in and change RE4 from the ground up. That's the whole reason why we got RE4 looking the way it looks.
Oh yes,
because RE1 remake didn't performance wise it didn't sell as well.
Okay.
But no, in the case, so basically what you would want then, you basically want RE1 to be remade in the same way, like in the same vein as RE2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I think because the thing of it is, for the basis of it, I've seen people do their version of a RE1 remake.
Yeah, me too. I've seen it. Using Unreal.
Yeah, and then taking the character models from the RE2 and RE3 remake and getting something good out of it. So it's like the potential is there.
It's definitely there. Like it's definitely. Here's how you know it's official that they're gonna do it. It's when Capcom sends a C&D to whoever is making that remake.
Oh, it's on the horizon.
Then you know it's up.
Because otherwise, usually 9 times out of 10, Capcom don't say shit. It's like, oh, that's cute, cool, whatever. We don't give a shit. Because the Code Veronica shit was the one that was like, oh, they're doing it because they were sending out the cease and desist for all the Code Veronica stuff, and I was like, oh.
Now, only if Capcom were to, take an old game. Like, imagine if they released RE1 remake and it was stupid rough, like the RE4 Ultimate HD edition from like back in the day, that it took 2 guys who while they were still in college to collaborate and fix the game from the ground up. Shout outs to that RE4 Ultimate HD project. That is still to this day probably the greatest passion project I have ever seen, and I still have it on my RE4.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people. Was it Bach Chicken, whatever the dude's name is? Like he actually played the HD of that and stuff, and the details are like fucking great.
I watched the whole documentary, like the whole process of how they went all over Europe mostly throughout Spain, and just look for everything that looked familiar. And I mean everything down to like the finest details. And I was like, bro,
even the fucking bullet casings.
Yeah, the bullet casings,
the shell casings, and all that stuff. It's like, yo, this looks really good. And I think the greatest thing also with Resident Evil 4 remake recently, though, watching people play through Nightmare mode and like,
you're talking about that Nightmare mod.
Oh yeah, that shit looks like chaotically fun. I'm never touching it, but I'll watch other people play it because I don't need that stress in my life.
I might try it.
I don't need 10 Chief Mendez's coming after my ass. I don't need that.
Just run. Just run.
No, it's like remember the RE2 remake where it was nothing but like
Mr. X's. See, that's
nightmare
different.
fuel. That is nightmare fuel.
No, see, that's different. Like people doing the randomizers or every enemy is Mr. X, that breaks the game. You can actually soft lock the game doing that stupid shit. You have to pull out an equalizer, which is running around with the infinite rocket launcher. Yeah, that's the only way you can balance that shit.
The pistol is only going to be like, that's not going to stop them, and then
it doesn't stop them. It barely slows them down. But if you break out the RPG, you can at least slow down a bunch of them where they can all, pull the Tony Romo.
I mean,
hit that one knee.
Oh, is this the one? Yeah. Okay.
So here's the trailer.
Yeah, them early iterations of Resident Evil. Why is it not playing?
Hang on. Let me refresh it right quick.
What is with YouTube? Yeah.
I do not know. All right, here we go. This is what RE5 originally looked like at E3. This is E3 2005. You can tell just from looking at this that this is all just stuff made for the trailer.
Yeah, it's pretty much like concept ideas.
But also, bear in mind there was no Sheva in this trailer. She does not show up at all.
More and more, I find myself wondering if it's all worth fighting for.
And that voice for Chris is not what's his name? Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah. I mean, the character model is still the same, except he's not as beefier as his final incarnation.
Right.
Like, Chris, stay off the roids there, buddy.
It was the stay off the creatine.
Granted, RE Village, we finally got Chris again, where I'm like, oh, you've been hitting Jim, buddy.
Right. And for the most part, this was that was still
still staying in the game. Part of me feels they already had an idea of Sheva, but they didn't.
No, I really do think that this was going to be a single game. See, look at this. He could duck. He could fight back. Where is it?
At the same time, though, I think there's a possibility they got feedback like a white guy killing black people.
Yeah, this is what led to the controversy. Now, I want you to take a look at this. See, there's no way in hell all of this was possible on PS3.
I think it was.
Bro,
we saw Metal Gear Solid 4 on the PS3. It's possible.
To have that many enemies coming, the game was already running at a stuttery ass sub 30.
It could do it, but I think what would have probably happened was, okay, so we played it. There was a point earlier in the game when you do New Game Plus where if you stay back, I think it was that early section before you get to the next section with where you're staving off where all those crowds of Ganado come through.
Yeah, but this is like that would have been half. That would have been half this crowd that would come at you. This is the entire crowd. I'm telling you, this is running off of a freaking dev kit. This is not running off of 360 hardware.
Here's the thing. I think they could do it, but they would have done a cheat where it's like, okay, they would have cheated to where you would have saw a flood of people coming, but it would have been dependent on kind of like I'm speaking as a programmer on this. They would have had to develop a programming where it's like, okay, if Chris kills X amount of enemies, more enemies come through. So it's basically like a cheat to where you're getting the visuals of a lot of people.
I know what you're talking about. It's the thing from RE3 where you play where you're Carlos and you have to defend the hospital. You see hordes of zombies outside, but the ones who actually show up with the freaking invincible frames, even though you're shooting them before they walk through the window, that whole nonsense.
That's the cheat that they would have did with that. So it's like, you're right. Okay, so I will say this. You're right. Yes, this is the development kit, because let's be real. This was kind of like proof of concept of a Resident Evil 5, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's running, and I'm looking at the freaking the FPS. This game did not run at a smooth 60 when we got it on 360 and PS3.
Yeah, because even I remember we were playing Metal Gear Solid 4. Metal Gear Solid 4 on the PS3 to this day to me still stands out. Is like, I can't believe Kojima and them got so much shit out of this goddamn system. Like that shit.
Yeah, they were able to develop for it, even though the game again runs. It does not. It's like, here's one moment at 60 FPS, and we're back to 30. It's.
I'm trying to think. Did they do an upscaling for that?
No. That game is forever locked behind the PS3 until the Master Collection Volume 2 comes out.
So yeah, pretty much whenever that comes out, we'll see what it looks like on the
PS5. The only way that people have been able to play that game proper now through emulation. That's how we've been seeing Resident Evil 4. Metal Gear Solid 4, 4K, 60 FPS, and all that stuff, because they're running it through emulation. But check this out. You got, all these freaking knives and axes getting thrown at you. Where is it? I'm looking for the punch.
No, that's probably coming.
Dude, that room right there, that didn't happen.
Actually, that did. It was a cutscene, remember?
Here it is. Dude, I wanted to do that so bad.
So that room with the axe does happen, but it only triggers when you kill remember they only triggers when you kill a certain amount of enemies, and then they come through, and you remember that big axe who comes in and chops down the whole thing.
Yeah.
But the circumstances, you're right, it never happens like that. Because even that punch, that only happens if you stun them. You can't. I wish that you could do it just.
See, but this was him getting out of a grab.
Yeah.
Because I could tell just from the animation, he got out of a full grab right there. He pushes the grab off and it jabs the hell out of him. One hit and you can knock down the other bad guys. Dude, I wish we got this. Like, this was the RE5 that I want.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't be surprised now with this iteration of the new consoles, they can actually implement those ideas.
And him talking about one thing's for sure, I got a job to do. I'm like, dude, there is no mention of a partner or nothing. Like, this really was supposed to be, I think, just him. Like, there was no idea. Because remember, the game was still early on at the time.
Dude, this was like beta.
This is like super beta. I guarantee you they had no intention of making this game, number one, a co-op game. Number two, adding in like an extra character. Like, I really do think this was going to be Chris tracking down and eventually coming across. Yeah, because Jill still shows up. Like, at the end of this trailer, they showed her face at the end of this old trailer. So this still would have been Chris on his journey to find Jill. Now, the whole thing about Sheva, that I swear was just a knee-jerk reaction due to all of the backlash that they were getting for the whole, it's a white man in Africa killing black people.
To be fair, optically, it does kind of like, even though
hang on, Chris. No, because I got to say this. So when you're a white guy running around killing Spanish people,
it did kind of get a lot of stuff there. Maybe not as vocal.
No, it got nowhere near the amount of stress that 5 got.
But to be fair, in his early incarnation before Sheva got added, I can understand how it looks to a point.
Even when they came out and said, like, bro, these are not just people; they're fucking zombies.
But understand, like, in that early iteration, I can understand the outrage a little bit just because optically it's like, all right. I think when it got to its later incarnation, when Sheva got added and we actually got that trailer proper with Wesker and all that stuff, you really couldn't complain at that point. Because now you have, because I felt at that point you had any person after that trailer where it showed Wesker and all that shit, I felt okay, at this point, now you're just complaining just to be a fucking asshole.
Like I felt they were complaining just to be an asshole even back then. Because
but that's what I'm saying. That trailer with just Chris, okay, I can understand how it.
I didn't listen. As a black man, I did not feel like this was racial. Like it did not feel racially motivated to me. I looked at this and I said, okay, this is another Resident Evil game, except he's in Africa. I did not look at this as, oh, it's a white man killing black people. First of all, they're coming after him.
You're right, but that's what I'm saying. At the time, though.
No, I get it. We were there.
Yeah, that's like at the time, but like
I'm still standing on business, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. At the time, it just didn't look right. And I think once they added Sheva, and then once cause I think when you do, if say for instance they added Sheva and we didn't get shit with Wesker, I would kind of been like, I think it would have been like, I get it because it's Resident Evil, fine, but like I think by virtue of them adding Wesker in that first trailer that we got, their first official trailer, it was like, okay, cool, got you. Like you can't complain at this point.
I'm still standing on business because you want more proof that Sheva was definitely like a last minute knee jerk reaction to the backlash, because when they put her in the game and you're playing the game solo, they made her AI so brain dead.
I think they wanted Jill to be his partner in that game before they switched. I could say that much.
Well, no, because in the trailer, Jill is the one they actually show Jill inside of that freaking tube. They show her face, so that's why I said, "Oh, this is going to be about him finding her."
No, but I feel that there was probably a moment in the game where,
where
he probably finds Jill, and then boom, they partner up, and we get that proper before they probably switched up on it. Because there's a part, because especially when you look at Lost in Nightmares, that's the name of the DLC.
Yeah, Lost in Nightmares.
It's like, yeah, this like. It's like everything that led up to like Sheva getting added. It's like, okay, I can see why they probably initially maybe had it like Chris searching for Jill, finds Jill, and they team up, and then boom, we get it proper before they said, okay, we got to switch this up a little bit because of X, Y, and Z.
I don't know. I still kind of,
because even in 6, when you look at RE6, the early iteration of that, there were things in RE6 of their early iterations that was like,
6 was a mess.
That 6 was just a mess narrative.
It was a mess, like from the jump. With 5, I believe that 5 was trying to hop on the success of 4 by once again taking the character, putting them in a like in a foreign land, have them do all this stuff, looking for somebody. And again, it would have been Chris across the board, because 4 was just Leon. Yes, he had his escort missions dealing with dealing with freaking Ashley, but outside of that, it was just that.
Actually, it just dawned on me. RE6. This is what RE6 was. RE6 was definition of doing too much.
Yes, doing too much.
It's the older days that we always say less is better. Like, you had a good foundation with 5. There was no reason to make even on the plot front, it was very convoluted because, okay.
We went all over the globe.
I would have liked a game where it was just strictly Leon and what's-her-face and Chris and Pierre's, because at least those two story points.
Leon and Helena, Leon and Helena, Chris and Pierce.
That felt better as a crossover.
No Sherry and Jake.
Sherry and Jake felt like, okay.
Sherry and Jake was
wanted
Nemesis again.
Yeah, it felt like, okay, you did Nemesis, but the problem was you added in this other wrinkle of Jake being into this thing, which in concept is nice. Even with Sherry, I can understand that, because Sherry, okay, you need to find something to do with Sherry, but like, it felt like those two were so far removed from the proceedings of Leon and Chris, because even the addition of Ada made sense, but it's just like Jake and Sherry felt so like separate from the other 5 characters. There's like, yeah, I could do without Jake and Sherry, and it probably would have made of a better cohesive story line. with Neo Umbrella and all that versus what we got where it was just like, because the buddy system in that game was jank.
Yeah, I mean, like I told you, they made these games with the AI being as stupid as as they were. Going back to 5 with Sheva, and this is why I still say that Sheva was definitely an afterthought from all of the controversy that came out, all the unnecessary controversy, because not only was she brought in and given the most brain dead AI on planet Earth,
even though she was good at Mercenaries. That's the wild part.
No, she's good at Mercenaries because you're playing with her.
No, the AI that helps you out in Mercenaries is actually not bad.
But playing through the main story, no, she was a fucking headache. Half the time she got you killed when you played on harder difficulties.
Oh, no. Do not play by yourself on professional difficulty. Oh, God, you're babysitting. Normal, you're fine. Professional, fuck no.
The other thing, once this game was once the game was done, and here we are, years and years later, I want to say like a full decade later, there has been no mention from neither Chris or Jill about Sheva, and she has never appeared in any other Resident Evil game after this.
Well, she ain't the only one. Think about it. My man from fucking RE0 has been MIA, and he was
Billy?
Free. Billy got let free, even though he's closely tied to the proceedings of. So it ain't just Sheva. It's a lot of other characters. Because even if you want, you can count Barry. If it wasn't for Revelations, Barry would have been fucking MIA for a while.
Well, he showed up in 3.
I don't count that shit. Like,
he's in it. It's canon.
Hey, I just played 3. Like, it don't matter. The point is, like, if Revelations 2 never happened, we would have been like, well, where the fuck is Barry at?
Well, no. Well, they already explained in the story. He took his family and moved to Canada after
people. But here's the funny thing.
That was it. But remember, Stars was disbanded.
But understand, people still want Barry though. That's the
people
thing.
still want him. But you gotta make a game. You gotta give us a story that would make sense to bring him into the game. The dude left Stars. He took his family, moved to Canada. He's done. We're never seeing him again until Revelations 2.
That's why I'm like, I don't think it's on purpose that they don't mention it. It's just like,
I'm saying that for Sheva. I'm really saying that for Sheva because how are we so many Resident Evil games after 5? Nothing. Listen,
I would love to be real. After 6, I mean, they had to kind of start anew here. That's why, like, in Village, they established the fact that Chris is kind of bucking against BSAA now, so they could possibly kind of continue that right now. We'll see.
Now, I would still love to see the return of Suplex City Josh. I would, but
I mean, look, it's all dependent because spoilers for RE Village. We found out that the BSAA has been fucking around with bioweapons.
Yeah, who knew?
Which I mean, look. In any organization that's supposed to be fighting against terrorism and all that stuff,
they end up becoming the damn terrorists themselves.
So like the fact that they went into to me, the BSAA was kind of established as like a government entity. So you knew somebody in that government operating was like, hey, what if we use one of those things for our little efforts? And I'm like, this never ends well. Why?
Surely this can't go wrong.
Right.
It's the class, dude. It's the classic gaming sin. A giant pharmaceutical company is brought in, to stop, to stop a bioterrorist attack that was started by a fucking pharmaceutical company.
You see why Chris in Village at the beginning of his mission is smoking a cigarette? Like, this is some bullshit.
Or we saw him in 6 at a bar, like. I told you to leave the bottle. I'm gonna keep drinking.
To be fair, that was traumatic. That was traumatic situations. Here.
I know it's traumatic, Chris, but I mean, come on. This is a guy who has the worst track record in history of keeping partners alive.
Village was just like,
unless they're women, of course.
Village was just like, hey, boss, you don't want to believe this.
Slides the iPad. He just slides the iPad over.
All right, we're gonna have to make a stop in Europe right now because somebody catching a bullet to the head after this shit. That's a look on his face, like
this man pulled out the cigarette. Like,
all right, I guess we gotta stop by Europe after we blow up this fucking village.
Literally, this was Chris post Resident Evil 6.
I like the convenience of RE Village where everything, because Ari Village made it seem as though this thing was huge, and then like when you get to the finale, it's like when you scale it back, it's like, all right, they weren't bullshit. It really is a village because it isn't. Because I was expecting it to be like RE4 where shit was spread.
Oh yeah, you go to the island
and all, and it's like, huh. All right, well, shit.
Nah, Village. Let's be real. Village is Resident Evil 4. It's Resident Evil 4 in first person.
Yeah, except minus the over the top island section.
I mean, no, the part where you fight Heisenberg in that area kind of counts.
That was, even though you find out it's like that shit was like going down the street from going down the street from Wheaton to Silver Spring. It's
right.
Like,
I mean, yes, they kept it more contained, but everything was still a section.
Yeah, Heisenberg was
you dealt with Lady D's castle. You dealt with the actual creepy factor with the giant fetus being like the regenerator. Let's keep it real.
Water section. With the
water section, the freaking Del Lago, the fish boss. Hold up, you're a white man going into an Eastern European country looking for a girl. Resident Evil Village is 4.
I feel Lady D, we were kind of denied a proper nemesis aspect to her.
Nah, Lady D was more like Mendez.
Yeah, I think our expectations was we thought it was going to be like Nemesis a little bit, even though it kind of sort of was a little bit.
Because she chases you throughout her castle,
but it's like really like
unless you run fast enough to hide from her.
Look, full disclosure, I felt nervous watching speedrunners do the po juke around her and shit. I was like, I'm not doing that. Y'all lost your goddamn minds.
Because you really think going around a table that she's gonna actually follow suit and go around the exact same. No, she will go the other way and head you off at the path.
I like how motherfuckers were cheating by adjusting the frame rate to get around her. I didn't know you could do that until I was like, how the fuck they gonna?
Because it also works
the frame rate.
Because that move also works in RE2, RE3, and RE4. Like every Resident Evil game. The RE4 one, you can adjust the frame rate. I forgot what boss fight it was for.
No, I've seen them do it for like the initial village thing.
No,
they throw the grenade and you can
that one, and you can also use the you can adjust the frame rate for Del Lago.
Yeah, I've seen people do. I've only seen like a couple of people do that. But yeah, it's actually kind of an interesting check. I'm kind of glad Capcom never patched that shit.
Yeah. Well, they patched enough of the game that had a lot of people feeling some way. But people, of course, if you got it on PC, you can downgrade that bad boy.
I mean, I get it. The whole thing where you can like break it into where you can look at the thing and break.
Yeah, sniper scope. Yeah, sniper scope through scope through walls and stuff. I mean, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, because can you do that in the water room pretty much?
Yeah, you could. Back then, I think you had to look for a certain area to do it. I know nobody likes the water room.
I mean, the original game, the cheat was pretty much like restarting the checkpoint, and it actually reset everything to where you had to.
What you had to do was you started out in one room, and then like you just kept restarting from your last checkpoint over and over again to like drop the amount of enemies that'll be in the room. Then once you made it like under the walkway, save the game and then start it over from that, like load your save data from that point, and that resets everything.
Yeah, so it's like I said, I am curious on what Capcom has up their sleeve for 5 and Code Veronica. Hopefully they don't pull a RE3 with Code Veronica and they actually,
as long as they still keep the same team that worked on 4 and 2. We're fine. Do not give us don't half-ass it. Don't do none of the bullshit that you did with 3. Like, I'm to this day still pissed off that you took my favorite Resident Evil game and just ruined it.
To be honest, with the way I still maintain the way that they did 3, if they said that 3 was like DLC for 2, I probably would have been better satisfied with that versus it being a full-fledged game.
Even though 3 was supposed to be a spin-off game because they didn't know what Resident Evil game.
Back in the day, that was like last minute. Like,
it was last minute.
Yeah, it was last minute. But you think about
but it was good.
Yeah, for last minute, and also the fact that they, I mean, look, a lot of game companies did it. They reused resources from 2.
Yeah, they did.
And also Dino Crisis for their production for RE3.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually pretty good because
Again, you can get listen, a game could be super last minute you can use all the resources that you got from previous games as long as you could tell a good story. The writing, the writing is good, the production is good. You throw in all these extra things that you can do now in 3 that you can never do in 2. That's what made the game so good. Hell, you can make your own ammo, you can upgrade your weapons. Like none of this stuff was in 2. Like, and you bring in a cool villain like Nemesis. That's why I said 3 is my favorite.
Yeah. So it's like I said, I think Capcom is just, in my eyes, and I think that's what kind of sucks about those companies. It's like those Japanese companies, they're in that kind of like catch-22 in a way where it's like they want to stick to their guns, but then it's that you got some people clearly in Capcom that want to also, they see what these other big companies like EA is doing and they want a piece of that pie. And it's really just like, it's not going to work out for you. It's just like, sometimes it's better to just stick to what you are.
Like you really
and just take it for what it is. Cause it's like, you're never going to be,
you really got to leave it alone.
You're not going to hit Call of Duty numbers. It just is what the fuck it is. And that's not a bad thing. Like at the end of the day, yes, people are going to want their, how do they say, they want their quick fast food games like the Call of Duties and stuff, right? Like that's just what it is. But like at the same time, stick to what you are. Like stick to those games, stick to the Devil May Cry, stick to those things. And like you said, hey, give us rival schools.
I'm asking for the return of old IP.
I don't know what that would work like. And the thing of it is, I don't know what that would look like with the way gaming is now. Like, what's your budget going to look like for those games to where you feel you can recoup money to where you don't feel like you have to expend an absorbent amount of money compared to, say, a Street Fighter 6, right? Like, what's the budget range for those kind of things?
Here's what I want. I'm not even asking for them to give me a brand new rival schools because the way fighting games have now jumped into that live service pool, I would much rather just have a collection of the old games, but I want them to put some money behind this because rival schools was both rival schools and Project Justice, and even the second game, none of those games have ever been properly localized. They just took the easiest route of translating just the arcade mode. But there are so many additional modes and features that was in the original Rival Schools and Project Justice that never got translated. And I would love for them to give us a proper collection with both of those games with everything fully translated. I mean, come on, if a fan can go out of their way and do a proper fan translation of Psychonauts. What's it? No, not Psychonauts. What was that Kojima game that he made? Snatcher.
Yeah, Snatcher.
If we can get if you can do like a full fan translation of Snatcher, or Psychonauts was the other one. Psychonauts was another one that got a fan translation. And just other games, all those Sega Saturn games that got fan translations proper, like everything is 100% in English. If Capcom could just put the money behind it and release that, I would buy that day one.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
day one.
Yeah, I mean that is.
I would do something I haven't done in decades. Pre-order it. I would pre-order the game. I would actually spend day one money on it, but because they're not doing that with neither Rival Schools or Power Stone for that matter. Power Stone is a fun game. That's something they could easily just release and put it on all current hardware and just keep it moving.
I think that's the balancing act for a lot of games. It's like in this gaming scape of like publishers, and I mean, look, a reckoning is already coming in the gaming industry in terms of like there being a possible crash in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it's going to be like full hard stop.
I mean, is it going to be the same as the crash of the 80s? No, but I definitely do see some kind of crash coming where game companies publishers and developers are gonna sit back and be like, all right, we need to reassess. Why don't we just start putting out original stuff? You know,
not even that. I think it's the aspect of, do we really need to spend absorbent amounts of money?
Which they don't.
We're a Hollywood fucking studio for these games. Like, I understand you have to pay your developers. Yes, pay your fucking developers a living wage. So I'm not even going to say
that's fine. Paying the developers is fine. What I'm saying is, you guys don't need to spend stupid amounts of money on a game that comes out and it's still broken upon launch. How is it that the indie side, with the limited budget and resources that they have, can put out a game that works like that?
I'll take it a step further. I understand a lot of people aren't fond of it. How is it that Death Stranding, and even its director's cut, I haven't heard anybody say a peep negative about it being a buggy mess or anything? Like, people talk about how, it's just a walking simulator. That's fine. I haven't heard anybody say anything when it initially launched of it being a buggy mess per se.
The reason why that is, Chris, is very simple. How long did Death Stranding take to come out?
Years.
Who
4+
was behind?
years.
And who was behind Death Stranding?
Well, Kojima, obviously.
Since when has Kojima ever put out a game that was a buggy mess?
True, because you know how long Metal Gear Solid 4 took. So yeah,
Metal Gear Solid 4 did take some time. Yeah. And even with the limitations that they had to deal with, even with that game, it still worked from the jump.
And that's my thing. I think because even when you look at games like Last of Us and all that, it's like, I think gaming companies need to go back to that, where it's like, all right, maybe we don't need to rush out a fucking game because the general audience can't sit their asses down and be patient. Because that's the other thing I kind of hate, is that there is a segment of gamers that are impatient as fuck. Like right now, I think we talked about in the last episode the whole thing with the Insomniac leaks, right? And with Spider-Man and all the Marvel games.
Oh yeah, and the Wolverine game.
And I'm sitting back and I'm sitting up there looking at people talk about it, bitching and moaning on why we can't get the game. I'm like, guys, y'all will sit here and bitch and moan about gaming companies rushing games out, you not feeling as though your $60, $70 is worth the money for what they put out. You mean to tell me that you can't be patient and let this gaming company actually finish the Wolverine game? Because there's nothing about this Wolverine game that got leaked that suggests that you would legit play $70 for this fucking game.
Well, nah, I'm not gonna say that.
No, I'm just saying, it's just
no. I'm saying, from what I've heard, from what people leaked off of that game, because again, you got to scour the internet to try to find.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen the clips and stuff, but there's nothing about it that gives me like, oh, I'll pay $70 for that. I'm like,
well, no, I'm talking about people who found the script. Like, they actually found like the story on it or whatever, and they looked. And of course, this leads into our boys, good old neckbeard YouTube. Loving. Already called the game wokety woke.
Which, I mean, to be honest and stuff,
I don't care. I get it. Everybody's got their grievances with both Insomniac and Naughty Dog. Like, I'm gonna say the fan base definitely got divided, because during the Uncharted days, everybody loved Naughty Dog, and during the games that Insomniac put out, everybody loved Insomniac. But now current year, fan base is definitely divided.
Because I mean, just as a preview, at least I don't know if this is the same thing you saw. Like, the only thing I saw from the plot of it is that I guess the whole issue is, the whole plot of the supposed Wolverine game. This is not even solid set stone, but I guess it's like Wolverine piecing together some memories or whatever, I think.
Yeah, take it with the tiniest grain of salt.
Yeah, it's huge grains of salt, because it's just that's why I said at the end of the day, I think gaming companies they're going to have to take a step back and be like, all right, what is our priorities? Do we want to, like, I think at the heart of it, it has to be make people feel that their $70 is worth the money for what they're paying.
And it's the easiest way to do that is very simple. Just make a good game.
That's a broad stroke.
It's no. When I mean by that, Chris, I mean I'm allow me, please. To
I
expand.
know. I'm letting you expand. It's just that's a broad statement.
No,
so
but when I'm saying that, I'm saying that in the connotation of make a good game. In other words, make sure the story is good. Make sure the gameplay is good. Make sure the game works. Make sure you have done extensive testing. If it takes you an additional 1 to 2 years, fine. Do what you need to do to make sure this game is good and polished. Because trust me, the player base and the fan base will appreciate that the game did not come with a day one 40 gig download patch. Instead, they were able to
Cyberpunk.
Yes, instead the game was able to work off rip. You told a story, you told whatever story you wanted to put together, and the gameplay is solid. You know, how with all the advanced technology we have today, how is that still the most difficult part compared to back in the day?
Well,
I'm sorry to sound like old man. No, I'm sorry to sound like old man gamer here, but it's a genuine question. How is it that this is different?
Shit, man, yo, if this was the old days.
Yeah, now, well, the thing about the old days, they the old days.
Just saying, sir.
No. That clip means nothing to me. That is a genuine question that I'm asking.
Like how you push back. That don't mean shit.
That don't mean shit at all. I'm not saying I want the old version of Street Fighter 2. No, I'm just saying, how is it that with all this advanced technology, like all of this shit, and yet you still cannot put a game together that works?
I think it goes back to the thing of like, and that's why I say I don't want to put it all on the gamers, but I think it's the impatient of gamers. Because like, look, like when Insomniac delayed New Game Plus for Spider-Man, right? I think my only complaint about that was, well, why was New Game Plus not part of the game from jump, right? That's a legit complaint, because it's like that should be something that should be embedded in the game off rip. Like it ain't
from the jump.
It ain't even a fucking question on that shit, right? That was the only thing I really that I felt some way about, right?
And it wasn't like the game was tied to a movie or something.
Yeah.
This is just a game by itself. You could have did what was necessary.
Yeah,
make the game and put everything in there that you need to put in. You know, I'm not saying like how in OG Spider-Man 2018, where you got the Black Cat side, the expansions, the side stories, and all the stuff that came after the initial game launched. I'm not even saying all of that. I'm saying with the amount of stuff, the amount of work that you put into this new game, how is it that the most basic thing somehow was left off the table?
Yeah.
New Game Plus. It's like, bro, that's like not adding checkpoints or autosave.
Yeah. I mean,
you put it in the old game. How is it that it's missing in this new one? Developers, what are you doing? What's going on?
And that's the thing too. It's the aspect of if this crash or whatever is going to happen, implode. I mean, look, to be honest, we already see it starting with everybody being laid off at all these companies, right? And
yes, that's the other issue too. Listen, Microsoft, Sony, Insomniac, EA, everybody is getting laid off, and it's bad.
Yeah, and the other aspect of it is it also addresses something that, like for instance, that there was a Spider-Man multiplayer that was supposed to come out from Insomniac that got leaked after they. I don't think it was Insomniac they laid off anybody, but it was Naughty Dog had laid off folks, right? So one of the reasons why Insomniac never released that multiplayer thing is that it was going to be a live service game, and I think the lead developer from Insomniac was like, well, the problem with live service games is that you need a dedicated group of people consistently on that, especially when it comes to doing fixes and adding updates. And unfortunately, we don't feel the need to hire more people, because what's going to end up happening is we hire all these people for this, and then once the span of that live service games reaches its end, we got to lay them off.
Yep.
And that's not
not only do we got to lay them off, but we also got to kill the servers to that game.
And that's the thing that they don't want to put themselves in, is you're hiring people for this thing. And while, yes, you're going to get gamers that are going to enjoy it, you pretty much fucked over your employees because they're just attached to this segment of the game. And that's
which is also why I hate live service games, because the moment you pull the plug and the servers are done, that's it.
And unless you're going to put those same workers on a different project, they're basically fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the reason why you hired them. You hired them for this project. And I think that was the same issue that was going to run into with the Last of Us multiplayer thing. That was also going to be a live service, and Naughty Dog was like, oh no, we're not doing this shit. And they nixed it because it makes sense. Because it's like, why put yourself through that shit? Because Naughty Dog already had to like lay off some folks. So why? And I think that came from the crash. I don't know what people, but they had to lay off a amount of people. Now it wasn't huge compared to other companies that was laying off, but being laid off,
still people got laid off, and nobody wants that. I don't like seeing people out of a job, but when your main company is screwing up the way that they are, bro, it's time to.
That's the gaming industry as a whole.
Like, I know that's the gaming industry as a whole, but I'm talking about when you're working with a company that's screwing up this much. If I were you, I would hop on LinkedIn and make some connections. Just saying.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's it for pressing buttons. Also, I hope you enjoyed me and D's Tekken 8 thing that we did recently with HAG Entertainment. It was fun. They had a little bit of technical issues, but they're actually going to basically kind of revise that whole thing for their whole thing for an event that they did for the first time with Tekken 8 and stuff. The production looked pretty good, especially the stages and everything. It actually ran pretty well. Shout out to Aim Hit Go for actually running that tournament as smooth as they did, which was great. So yeah, definitely check that out on our YouTube channel. We did that, and I don't know. You got anything else, sir?
Yeah. Let's just get. No, I was just gonna say.
It's like yeah,
I do. I hope all future games going forward come out and not become Skull and Bones, because that's a game that's never coming out.
Yeah, bigger odds of the Detox album coming out.
That game ain't never coming out, bro. But no, I really want the gaming industry to just get better. I mean, really get away from this live service nonsense. Do away with battle passes. Bro, battle passes are the new online passes. Remember Online Pass back in the day? You bought a used game and you had to pay $5 just for the Online Pass? Stupidest shit ever. Online Pass never died. It evolved into the Battle Pass.
Online Pass is $5 if you bought the game used.
Yep.
Gaming companies were really scared of GameStop. Ain't that a bitch?
You're scared of a company. You're scared of a company that is known for fucking its customers over.
Here's the peak irony. GameStop killed themselves in the grand scheme because here's the funny thing. The gaming studios did not even have to do the online pass because look where GameStop is now.
I know. But it took them, let's be real, it took them a clean decade for it to get to that point. But right now, GameStop is pretty much the Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I look back on that online pass debacle like, well, that was stupid, guys. You didn't have to do that shit.
You should have never initiated that shit in the first place. But that's why I'm really wanting gaming to go in a better direction. I really want them to go in a completely different direction for the better. Can we just go back to artistic expression and not so much pandering, not so much we got to tick boxes, we got to do this. If you really want that sort of thing, look at the indie. Go to the indie route. Talk to indie developers.
Look, I'm not even gonna go into ticking boxes because that is a can of worms conversation.
No. When I'm talking about ticking boxes, I'm talking about across the board, not specifically one thing that's the hot button of today. I'm talking about just ticking boxes on just stupid shit.
Oh yeah, like hey, Is it live service? Yes
Yeah.
or no? Oh, okay. I'm about to say you gotta specify that because I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Like,
I think
I'm talking across the board of ticking boxes.
but that's also the other thing too. That's why I say it's a little bit of like us as gamers on that because it's like these studios feel like they have to keep our attention, but it's like, bro,
It's not that hard.
live service isn't going to keep my attention.
Live service is gonna make me run away from you.
Like we already saw. Look, the fact that right now Suicide Squad killed the Justice League live service fucking roadmap is like a shit show to where it's like
Finito.
I saw the ending to your game, so you're expecting me to play through your fucking post-game live service to get the finale to your game? Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit.
It's done.
It
man.
didn't work for Avengers. Why would you do it here?
And look at that. Avengers is not only dead, it's delisted. You can't even download that game.
And they
anymore.
gave you, and hell, here's the kicker. You can still play the game, and they gave all the stuff for people for free now.
Yeah.
So it's like, you
Still
know,
doesn't
like,
help. It still doesn't help. The game was still bad.
you know, so it's just, again, good story for that game. But yeah, it's the live service was just like,
Live
the hell
service
was
killed
that?
it. Live service as a whole should be illegal in
Yeah.
gaming. Because what's going to happen when, if somebody years from now wants to play the game, they can't play it. The game is
they could play it. It's just going to be strictly just
no. I'm talking that bullshit where the game has to be connected to the internet, and if the server for that game is shut down, you can't even play it.
No, you can't. No, here's the thing. So basically, the way the Avengers game operates, you can play the single player, you can play multiplayer, but the problem is it has to be local. And if you do play the multiplayer aspect, you basically have bot heroes helping you. That's it.
And who wants to do that?
And that's the thing. It's like, I guess that's fun.
See, and unfortunately, that game is not like Phantasy Star.
Yeah, it's just
Fantasy Star.
Who wants to have bot friends? Like,
no, Phantasy Star, you got folks that still play the original Dreamcast and the GameCube version and the original Xbox version because they found private servers that they can dial into.
Yeah, and it's like
thanks to Discord and TeamSpeak and all that stuff, everybody's been able to still play the game on their favorite platform.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, who wants to play with bots? Like, it's like that was like the shittiest workaround for that ever. Is like, really, like that's what we're doing.
No, because unless you made the bots that highly intelligent, unless the bots are really that intelligent, no, you're gonna get bored real quick.
It's like, I don't trust you to make the bots competent. Sorry, it's just not in the cards here. So, but yeah, that's it for pressing buttons. This was a fun 3 hours. We were actually I feel we weren't doing a lot of like, what's next in the gaming. He's like, no, you had a concise breakdown, organization.
Listen, I still got plenty of stuff more that I want to talk about, but I will save that for another time.
Trust me, there's always fuckery afoot in the gaming
there's always yes, there's always fuckery in the gaming space that I am always watching like a hawk. And I like to get enough of a story. I don't really want to jump on stuff and be like, oh man, so here's what's happening. So what can we expect from this later? No, I want to wait until we get enough story. And then that's why it might come out late or whatever. But hey, I want to make sure I get the whole story first.
Yeah, last thing you need is to be like, oh, so you didn't get the full story.
Or I don't want to be that guy who puts up videos off of just speculation.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I hope that you continue following us on Twitch. I am going to still be continuing streaming Infinite Wealth and probably other stuff. I need to figure out a way to integrate like Discord, so like I can get all three of us on while I'm like streaming. So you can.
I got Discord.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can try. Well, I gotta find a way to try to like integrate it into like the stuff into OBS.
I think there's like a stream key or something for it.
Yeah, so I can capture the OBS stuff, so we can get some 3BG shenanigans while we play. Because if you heard our conversation Saturday before we did Godzilla X Kong, that was probably the funniest conversation. That if we had streamed that on Twitch while we were playing it, I think there would have been a huge uptick in folks like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, that was probably the funniest conversation that was cathartic that needed to happen.
Hold on, what? Because we have
it was before I hit record, so we were talking about a lot of the stuff with SBI. And
oh God, yeah,
that was the funniest conversation that was cathartic that needed to happen, because it was just like,
oh God, that's why I said I had so much stuff that I want to say, but I ain't gonna say it now. We already gone 3 hours in. No,
the SBI stuff. It's like, I think us talking about it offline was way better for a conversation, because it's just like it finally. It was one of those situations, folks, that the conversation, we finally were all on the same page on it, in the sense of really kind of getting to the root of what the fuck it was. And it's really, at the end of the day, it's
because I had to be the one I had to go through the trenches getting all the necessary information and presenting it. I get your, listen, Chris, I get your grievances that you have with Neckbeard YouTube and how they react to everything.
Look, at the end of that conversation, I was like, my man from fucking White Man Can't Jump. Fuck all this. I'm going to my car and get my gun.
I get it.
It was literally the both of y'all motherfuckers are crazy. I'm shooting both of y'all. All right, fuck this. Like, that's where it was at. That's where I was at the conclusion of that. That's how much I was really, at the end of the day, like, nah, fuck all this shit. I'm getting my gun. I'm shooting both of y'all motherfuckers.
I was cracking up because the whole time I'm saying all this stuff to Chris, I'm like, dude, it is what it is, man. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but the truth was never meant to be pretty. I'm just telling you how it is. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what's going on. No, I know you meant well, and I know you wanted these people to mean well, but they really don't.
Yeah, it's just, to me, at the end of the day, it was just a situation of just like both sides were crazy. And it's just like, guys, I'm just going to shoot both of y'all so we can just start to zero again. The clock reset so we can just get back to it. That's, at the end of the day, I liked how that conversation went, where we were all like, okay, so we're all on the same page now. Cool, gotcha.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, took you finally. And I always felt like I was alone on this. I was like, come on, y'all. Y'all know.
It's not that. It's just, at the end of the day, like I said before,
you wanted it to come from someone who didn't throw the word woke around like as an exclamation point.
Well, not even that. It's just, at the end of the day, D said it and you said it. At the end of the day, we are, because of the nature of how online is, we're never going to have a nuanced conversation, because nuanced conversation is boring. It's not sexy enough.
Yeah.
So, I put somebody flying in there, some bee in there.
No.
It's raining outside, so all of a sudden, is it leaking in there or something?
No. Man, don't even get me started.
My bad, man.
I had that happen. My freaking back when we had that crazy ass like rain and wind, I actually did get a leak.
Oh, it's raining outside now. So
yeah, I'm just double checking and making sure everything is straight.
All right. Well, anyways, folks, that is it for Pressing Buttons. We will catch you guys later. Peace. Dude, when we were talking.
That boy is Benny Hanna.